Bolin still. He's hitting too much of the knockdown shield. Tries to go for the shield core here. It's intense. This one doorway is all that is providing cover here. Dexter still finding an angle now. The double time to just go for the wraparound again. Encirclement here by Dexter. We climb to the roof, and it's Bolin who falls.
But here we go. Bearclaw Gaming still out in front of 51. Serenity on 39. Final Dream still holding that third place.
Yep, Vegas Inferno with the roof here. Makers went underneath to finish off the last member of Boogie Boarders, but is giving up that high ground. Well, I guess they never really had it, but is playing from the low ground here. Doable. Can they actually come out? Could this be a back-to-back on Storm Point from positions that looked ugly? They did it last game, Dax. Maybe they can do it again.
Micro in these fights have been so strong from Makers. Vegas Inferno, they have guns to work, but the devotion's not enough. Makers again looking to make magic happen.
Here we go. I want to talk about Makers. Tied there with Bearclaw Gaming, who had exceptional games on World's Edge. Look at them go from 20th place.
You can smoke off the other team without a Beast of the Hunt of their own. Incredibly hard to trade damage effectively against this Bloodhound.
Here comes the MDY Classic now. The stone wall of Augenstern does come on up. The Beast of the Hunt is there with the Kraber. And MDY, they know that this is a possibility for them to take the dub here. As Scan gets confirmation, LGD looking to fight from the low ground. MDY's crafted this so well. Spikes now to get a good position. Leon has the off angle too. And it's just a killing floor here. Courtesy of MDY. And trapped now for LGD. MDY will take this one. Bearclaw Gaming, because of MDY stepping up so well in that final fight, they prevent Bearclaw from getting that full 25. Finally, Makers. Now, game one's looking always good for them. Bearclaw, though, still with the setup. You see a remarkable team is trying to lie in wait with the Caustic. Here comes Nicholas yet again, live with the first to fall. The rest of Bearclaw will follow on suit. This time around, nothing can stop Grape Fanta. This is their game to win, and they will get it here. Grape Fanta takes map number 1.
Oh my god, they had so many kills at the start to close that out with a win. These guys are going to be on top of the world. This is the potential we were promised.
Sorry, 27 points with 15 kills.
Stick a fork into it, Lace. Look at the kill points right now. Multiples of 3. Great Fanta getting 15. Remarkable team. And interesting enough,
underneath the bridge from the caravan. Epic timing by Outside. I really like their use of ultimate there. Does the job. But still, all 3 teams do not want to fight first, but Barbecue are going to force it.
Barbecue, a fighting squad pushing the limit versus Vegas Inferno, but now they can't handle the heat. It's Outside the ring. Get in there to get the dub. A win for Outside. Map number 2 is theirs.
Big stuff there from Outside. I really loved how they, both teams were kind of looking. We're saying it only gets tougher as the day goes on. The fact that Legends had a pretty mid first series means that, well, it's only going to get harder for them to push through that. But remember, as you said, the win condition, taking down that pylon. If they get rid of that, all of a sudden, 6 Arc Stars and a Fuse ultimate to contend with.
Yeah, it's going to be raining soon for Vegas Inferno. That drops. And the EVOS Predator doing a respectable effort. Just be responsible with the resources, but now the fights will fall so quickly. A 1-for-1 as EVOS Predator was ready for it. But Vegas Inferno, the damage has been done. Bounce off a 5th and covered by the knockdown. But Vegas Inferno, look who's now on top of things. The ones who climbed the mountain truly lace Vegas Inferno in first place.
Climb the mountain, climb the leaderboard, and have a nice little shuffle around with Grape Fanta.
And with just 2 Barbecue members trying to rat it out, and EVOS Predator trying to get the revives in. I think X and Y have just about wrapped this one up, Dax.
A mixture of aggression and decision-making. That's what X and Y is known for. One more squad in front of them. They've gone back to the Fuse. They brought it out before, and now they're going to go back into winning ways.
Not enough to take out Vegas Inferno off the top, but that's only 1 point difference, Gino. If EVOS Predator really bringing in the heat.
Yep. We're gonna connect. Chill.
I think we think.
Just chill. I net on the left. I net left side.
Yeah, right. Kid. No, our left.
I did.
On me. By knock. Thank you.
100. Got it. Farming.
Oh, I had free shot, man.
It sure is with the 57 points there. 7-point lead against Vegas Inferno. Vegas had about 3 kills on the board there, but didn't really place in those top positioning teams. So it was only a matter of time before Evo's Predator took that over.
Are they actually going to let them revive?
Oh,
this is
it's for KP.
Interesting here. I guess if the downs came from MDY, then the res means that they do get the kills if they get brought back up. Legends Gaming.
Now, there you have it. 66 points for Legend Gaming. That's 2 points the gap. So the res was enough for them to boost themselves up.
undisputed champions of APAC-South in the ALGS.
Such a good spot here. Provides any much coverage for Popcorn. Ravi kicks down and out already. Critical strike there.
Got him down. 1v1, 1v1.
Oh, what? Oh, Shady. He finds the target.
That's going to be a punishing blow.
Tree is covered. Fly high to Senpai. The wraparound is perfect.
What? No! Look to overextend. So does Kashira.
Does get spotted out. The pins go down. Oh my god!
The 360! What a beast!
Hello and welcome everyone to the Split 2 Pro League, where we'll be covering all the Apex Legends action here in Apex South. My name is Lace, and returning this week is our wonderful caster. So let me once introduce it again to the man, the myth, the legend, Dax, and the ever so exuberant Elfish. Elfish, it's so good to have you back with us today. Are you all kept up on the split? Are you ready to see how our teams perform today?
Mate, I tell you what, I'm just really ready to do a broadcast without Genome for once. That's fantastic.
Hey!
That's the biggest dub of my weekend. As far as ever exuberant is concerned, I don't know. We'll see. That kind of depends on how these games go today. But I'm feeling good to kick things off. And yeah, we'll see how we go.
Well, if you've been watching the game so far, I definitely feel like you're going to get a little bit passionate soon. But Dax, it's so nice to have you back once again. As you can tell, we got no Genome today, but that is A-OK because we have the pizza-fueled Dax for another 12 matches. How are you feeling today, Dax?
Look, Lace, I'm just gonna take your word for it. I know you said something else to me before we went into this broadcast, but yeah, the truth is, I'm really hyped up to go for another week of ALGS. The games have gotten even more exciting, and we got some big pickups for teams getting sponsors, so it really goes to show there's a lot more eyes here on the ALGS APAC South.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some epic-defining moments, and I know everyone at home can't wait to see some more, so let's take you through how the Split 2 program will work.
Let's jump straight into Split 2 of the Year 4 Pro League. Here's a quick reminder about our format. Each region is made up of 30 teams. 8 of those teams battled through the preseason qualifiers, and 22 earned it through established winning form, invites from EA, or by being the best of the rest. Those 30 teams will be split into 3 groups of 10 teams and play a triple round robin with each group playing the others 3 times. At the end of the regular season, the top 20 teams in each region will play a match point regional final, where a number of the top teams of each region will then advance to the Split 2 playoffs. Looking forward to the second split, we're going to find out if the teams that topped their regions have what it takes to make another deep run.
And as we just blink through the schedule today, we're on day 4. It's June 16th here. Nice and bright and early, nice and chilly, but we are over halfway of our split, Dax. I feel like this has gone super fast. We've been commenting on it and saying this is probably one of the fastest splits we've had.
This is like, what, the 3rd week? Basically, we had a super weekend to start things off. We had last week with a doubleheader, and now we're gonna go for a little bit more. And interesting enough, you're right, because after this one, we're not gonna be seeing the A versus B matchup anymore next week. It's gonna finish off here, and then we'll take a little bit of break straight through to July, and then suddenly it's that finals for the region.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. First up, we'll have groups B and C for about 6 matches, and we move on to groups A versus B. So a lot of Apex South games for you guys today. Last week we had some fresh faces rise to the top and some legends dominate. So hopefully we can go take a look at our scoreboard so far and see exactly where everybody is standing, because those games coming out of yesterday, Dax was just incredible. And as we can see, Legends Gaming right on top. Elfish, you're obviously joining us today. Take a look at this. We've got Legends just on top. They've won quite a few games so far, and following along with Makers, and then Guild Esports, which I know we're going to touch on with you shortly.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess it's really not too much of a surprise at this point anymore, is it? Like, Legends continue to come in and they continue to impress. 3 out of the 4 lobbies that they've played, they've won. So, I don't know. Can you really say a bad word about this team? Obviously, expecting them to kind of continue to dominate. Won't get to see them in the first group of today, but for the second group at the very least, they'll try to hold on to that top spot. And it is hard to imagine that anyone's going to be able to catch up to them today, let alone maybe throughout the rest of the weeks. But, you know, I'm kind of looking at teams like maybe VP, Weibo, DreamFire down there in sort of the bottom 10 and thinking that's a little bit surprising to me. But I don't know, should I be surprised at this point? DreamFire struggling a little bit. That's kind of becoming a little bit more of a trend than anything else. So I don't know, a few of the big names may be missing out, but definitely got some moving and shaking that can still be done over the second half of the season.
Yeah, we've Dax and I have been touching on. It's been super exciting sort of watching some teams that we don't usually see in the top there. I know Kill Devil have been performing extremely well, and Dax's favorite, X and Y, are also doing extremely well. So, you know what? We've got so much happening, so it's going to be awesome to see exactly where everything is. But, you know, now, what is Apex without some major changes? And who better to introduce the biggest change to our format so far than Rain Day? Let's take a look.
Hey Legends, today I'm here to explain the new ALGS POI draft system. This format change aims to even the playing field while challenging teams to adapt to different POIs and different playstyles. How, you might ask? Well, this is how it works. Prior to the Pro League regular season, each team receives a random assortment of draft picks for match days 1 through 9. The assortment is perfectly equal, meaning if a team receives the first draft pick, they'll also receive the 40th draft pick on that match day. This draft style is called a snake draft, and the order of draft picks changes with each match day, which means that teams may not always get their preferred POI. On draft day, each team will make 2 draft picks, 1 Storm Point drop spot and 1 World's Edge drop spot. Strategizing is crucial, as drop spots on both maps are up for grabs at the same time. There will always be more drop spots than teams, which means that even if you're the last pick, you'll have multiple options to choose from. Once a POI is chosen, it's off limits to all other teams for that match series. On match day, each team is dropped from an individual dropship above their drop spot. It is a whole new ALGS. Well, I hope that explanation clears things up on how the POI draft system is going to work in the ALGS. If you want a more detailed breakdown, check out our latest blog post and follow Play Apex Esports on X to stay up to date with all things ALGS.
And the POI draft system has been such an exciting change for us. You know, we see different teams with different play styles and our teams having to adapt to different landing spots. You know, we love that epic entertainment as we flip the script for us today. Our first 3 matches will be on Storm Point. So we had World's Edge starting at last week. So we're back on Storm Point to kick things off. Then we'll head over to World's Edge after that. But, you know, we have obviously our draft system in play. So let's have a look at exactly where our teams will be landing. And Dax, we're going to go through this together because, you know what, it's so exciting to see some of our juggernaut type teams taking POIs that you won't necessarily, you know, think to take, but we have seen a lot of teams prioritize Storm Point.
Yeah, and with that being said, coming into this lobby, 11 teams first picking their draft here on Storm Point itself. Most notable have to be the ones at the top of the leaderboard here, Lace, and especially my eyes are on X and Y. Yet again, they prioritize Cenote Cave, a place they love to rotate from and just make wonders with the Trident, with the push, especially whether you need to run towards the north, towards Mill, or head south over onto Echo HQ. Elsewhere, DreamFire actually taking away Pylon from Weibo because they use their first pick on World's Edge. They're going to go for Launchpad instead. Elsewhere, Guild still sticking on around there by Checkpoint, formerly known as Serenity. They got a sponsor. We're looking to see what they're gonna do. Elsewhere, EVOS Predator, one of the most impressive teams we saw from last week with the addition of Nutsuru-sama. They're gonna actually head over to the wall and try to make a play there, especially when they're given a chance to get elevation, give some Evo because of the snipers that Nutsuru-sama loves to run, and give them a chance from that point on.
Yeah, also really awesome to see, I guess, True, one of our teams that, you know, still need to sort of make their way up the leaderboard, getting second pick on the Mill, you know, that's a very sought out spot, Elfish. So having that team to be able to go from there is absolutely exceptional for them. You know, we do see sort of everything pull over, you know, more to the right side of the map and, you know, making those rotations, I guess, like Dax said, with the Trident through the ocean there is something that a lot of our teams have been doing, I guess, coming into these games. So we always see a little bit of a scuffle happening outside of Barometer when they make these rotates, so it's always been quite exciting for us. But Elfish, how are you feeling about, I guess, these draft picks and going into these games?
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that you mentioned True, because that was the team that kind of piqued my interest as well, taking a look at that drop map. I mean, again, this is one of those teams that you'd look at and say, well, they would literally never get to drop at the mill. Like, in the previous format, you're just not allowed to do that as that team. You come in, you're like, you're someone that gets the last pick of whatever, and you're probably out on the outskirts of the map somewhere in some bad drop location, and you're already one of the weaker teams, like, in theory, on paper, right? You come in and you're like, well, we're kind of cooked here. There's just nothing going our way. But in this format now, that gives you a little bit of a helping hand. Is it going to be enough to make a difference? Well, I mean, based on how things have been going for them so far this season, maybe not, but, you know, it does definitely help you to at least get a decent drop location, and we'll see what they can do and whether or not they can run away with a good performance here on the mill. So I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed for them, and I kind of like it, right? This is where things change up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what Dax and I have been sort of commenting on. A lot of teams that we haven't seen sort of, you know, skyrocket to the top of the leaderboard are getting this chance and opportunity. And we're thinking, is that because of this new POI draft system? And it's just been super nice to, I guess, see these teams be able to adapt and rotate out of different zones. But there is a team that you would like to talk to us today, Elfish. And, you know, we're so thrilled to have you back and get all your information here. So tell us one of the teams that you're keeping your eye on today.
Well, I'm definitely keeping my eye on Guild. Obviously, they've got 2 lobbies to play today, so that's the first port of call that you're going to have to touch on. They're in third overall for the moment, so the fact that they're sitting in third and still they've got more games to play than most of the teams is obviously a fantastic sign for them. We've reiterated a couple of times that they've gone from Serenity into Guild Esports, and they've sort of been picked up pretty recently. So if you're wanting to have a good performance in your first outing in the new sort of organization, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And on top of that, right, the B and C lobby, that was the lobby that they were able to win earlier on in the season as well. So kind of all eyes pointing towards Serenity for today. I think they're a team that can probably not top the leaderboard at the end of this week. Obviously, it's going to be tough to get the better of a team like Legends, but maybe jump into second. I'd give them the benefit of the doubt there. So we'll keep our eyes on Guild most definitely.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say that, you know, because we have Makers playing in the next lot of lobbies who are currently sitting second in the leaderboard. And yeah, I guess if Guild sort of get themselves some juicy wins today, they can definitely put themselves into second place. But, you know, then Makers, I guess, come along and play again. So it's a matter of time there, Dax. But, you know, I feel like today they might be able to do something like that today. They have been performing extremely well throughout this split.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Guild Esports, this is their perfect chance to get that second place, since we did see Makers struggle in their last lobby, only netting 3 points from there. I think really the biggest point of contention here for Guild Esports is they're in top 3 with only 3 sets, and they've been the most low-key about it. They've been a little bit more quiet, but they take the smartest fights, the best decisions. And the last time we saw this BNC matchup, it was Jesco really putting his foot forward, getting 13 kills for the team. Also elsewhere to watch out for in this lobby, you need to see if Weibo is gonna try and make a rally here. Virtus.pro, it's crazy to think 2 teams that went to LAN last time around have a big chance of not making it to the first place. But on the other hand, some upstarts here, X and Y, I've always harped on how good they can be, and the potential is being more unleashed here. EVOS, Predator, we see them as a trio. And right now, Grape Soda, formerly known as Grape Fanta, Lace, right? They're always good with game number 1, so I'm keeping an eye out on them, even though we're starting off in Store Point instead.
Yes, I'm not sure if I gave them a bit of the caster's crutch, you know. I got a wonderful message from Nick Klaus actually saying, thank you so much for supporting us. And, you know, I was just super excited to see that. But, you know, the way that they, I guess, played in the first couple of weeks, Grape Soda, and then they came back and really took that knowledge and did so much better. It was just really exciting to see, you know, a team really adapt and make changes throughout it. And it has, you know, really pushed them up with the big contenders, which has been exceptional to see. Elfish, I don't know if you've seen too much on Grape Soda, but, you know, they were a team that were evidently at the bottom of the leaderboard and made their way up to about like 5th place. It was a skyrocket of a game. So they really, I guess, turned around, watched their VODs, had some conversations and did amazing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games, right? Like Apex Legends, where if you have one good weekend, you can really go from, you know, 0 to hero in a sense. The season isn't that long. There aren't that many opportunities to get points on the board, which kind of means that every individual lobby is worth quite a lot if you can get towards the top end of things, right? 25 points, the gap that you can sort of close. And so if we look at, you know, who, if they were to get 25 points out of a lobby today, could go from, you know, maybe like 7th, let's say X and Y, for example. They're another one. X and Y, MDY, KD, all these kinds of teams. If they were to win, they basically go from like middle of the pack teams to top of the pack teams in one lobby. So very much a possibility, and there's not that many opportunities to kind of sponge up those points. So yeah, everything's on offer for everybody, and that's kind of good to see, right? Like you don't want to really say necessarily that anyone's out of the picture.
Yeah, no, I guess another team that we've sort of seen that has really skyrocketed to the top is Remarkable Team. You know, I haven't seen too much, I guess, from them until about last week, Dax.
Yeah, I mean, Remarkable Team, they actually missed out on their very first game within their first series, but they've really shown up with such a different composition compared to everyone else. They love to run the Valkyrie and the Caustic. They're the only ones that have been running those legends together, and it's been such a good showcase. They've always made it within those top 10s, have some good performances, especially with the faster rotate enabled by the Valkyrie, and they're really one of the two teams that came in from the Pro League qualifiers that have made waves. The only other one, I dare say, that have those eyes on them is Vegas Inferno. So it just goes to show there's so much talent as available coming up from the lower leagues here in APAC-South.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting you say actually about those teams. You know, obviously our meta that we're following through is the Bloodhound. I guess even Fuse is sort of rising up at this moment in time, and Bangalore. But yeah, just to see them sort of play that different composition has been awesome. But let's see exactly what our teams have been playing for and are playing for. Not only a spot, I guess, in the regional finals, but a little bit of cash. Money is always nice as well. $20,000 for our first place, all the way, Elfish, to 21st to 30th, get some money as well.
Definitely goes a long way in a game where you've only got 3 players on the team as well, right? Like, it's a pretty decent split for those guys. To be fair, it seems like Legends are sort of farming the region for cash at the moment, which always tends to be the case for APAC-South. It's funny, isn't it? Like, when one team departs, like, we used to have Reignite, and then they left, and then it was like Moist that was kind of dominating, and now that Moist have gone, it's sort of like, well, Legends seem to have been the one that have kind of moved into that what would you call it? Like that bully position, maybe? You know, they're kind of punching down almost.
Right? I just want to chime in that was pretty much the case in point that Legends wanted to do from split number 1. We were expecting them to be at the very top. It was a slow start for them, and it was Weibo Gaming, formerly known as Wonton Dumpling, taking that top spot. But now Legends is in the position that we all expected them to have, especially after that incredible run back in Landed Championships as Black Hand. And given the scoreline, guys, come on, it's crazy. 3 25-point lobbies for them, and especially that last one where they rallied in the final game, took down Makers, who was rampaging all throughout the lobby. Played so smart versus MDY, letting them bring ulti back to life just to get 4 KP, and took the lobby by 2 points over Vegas Inferno. It's crazy to think how smart and how sound Legends Gaming is looking at right now.
Yeah, I don't want to say that that's like a pub style mentality so you can get that 20 bomb, but it was absolutely so thrilling to see someone like Legends Gaming just farm kills right in that final zone. You don't generally see that in, I guess, Pro League or these professional games. And, you know, I guess Legends Gaming, you know, has taken the throne, and we are looking at, you know, what team is going to be in second place. You know, I feel like it's a fight between Makers and Guild Esports at the moment, so we're always going to be keeping an eye on them to see who takes those top 2 positions. And as you know, APAC-South, we've only got 7 teams moving over. I think we had 8 last split, so you know it's going to be a little bit more of a crunch time for these teams, losing that extra slot. So you know they're going to be fighting tooth and nail, Elfish, just to try and get, you know, that ticket to LAN.
Look, in saying that though, it is still a pretty good spot to be in. You know, go back in the day, it used to only be 5 teams, and then you had Reignite that was basically guaranteed. So really, if you were someone trying to make it through, there was kind of like 4 spots that you could be playing for. Here it feels like there's a little bit more of an opportunity. So, you know, like let's not complain too much. It's definitely better than it used to be.
That's like a back in my day kind of speech. Back in my day, we had teammates like Chicken Sandwich and Team Burger, and we liked it.
And dial up. No. Everyone play. Make sure mum's off the telephone to grandma, because we're playing on some dial up. But look, guys, we had a quick little lobby reset. We'll be getting to the games ever so shortly, so don't go anywhere. Just chill out and relax. But you know what? We're going to, I guess, have groups B versus C today. So there's going to be some amazing games coming forward for you guys. We're obviously going to be keeping a very close eye on Guild Esports, because we're going to see if they're going to be able to take over Makers today. So let's find out exactly how that plays out. We're going to head over to our first match on Storm Point. Let's take it away.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if you want to go back and do another little back in the day discussion, let me just fire this one back at you.
Feel free.
Back in my day, the teams they just used to be called Grape. They didn't used to be called Grape Fanta or Grape Soda. They just used to be called Grape. So there's that.
Yo, I was saying chicken sandwich, team burger. Come on, those names were absolutely top tier. But gotta say, Elfish, it's a good day for APAC-South in the way because you have teams like Guild Esports popping up. They have an org now. Boogie Borders has been picked up as well to really wanted to watch out for. Lightning Unicorn was picked up there by EVOS Predator. So Heroez was formerly known as Tom Yong-kung. It just goes to show there's so much more support right now coming into APAC-South. But I'm so excited because BNC means there's no Legends Gaming and someone else can try to take a whole 25 right here, right now.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping it's going to be Guild just so that I look pretty smart. We'll wait and see. The thing is, obviously, you know, there's as you say, a lot of investment coming into APAC-South, but I don't know if that's like, what's the word? You know, that's not unexpected, right? The performances of the APAC-South teams when they go internationally, like someone's going to notice eventually. And look, we've been sort of harping on about it probably for the better part of a couple of years. That the APAC-South region has always been a little bit unloved in the sense that we have some really good players, some of the best in the world. In fact, at times you could make the argument that they have been the best in the world, just not necessarily playing in the APAC-South region. But it's always a case of an APAC-South team moves over to North America, and then there's another APAC-South team that's like, oh, these guys are pretty good. So
yeah,
I've been very positively impressed with the performances of the teams from this region over the last couple of years of ALGS, and finally now they're starting to get that recognition as well from the organizations, which are starting to pick them up and give them a bit of a helping hand. So
yeah,
take a look things here for the first zone shift over towards Stormcatcher, and as far as the Legends compositions are going to be concerned, very much in the same vein as previous weeks.
Yeah, and not only that, given that ring pull right now, it might just be heading a little bit more south compared to the usual hillside that our teams expect. I do have to say though, it really has just been APAC-South, a melting pot of good teams, of good talent. Then they move over to NA and make bigger waves. I will use our platform to just get these guys more money. They deserve it. But Virtus.pro, it's been struggles all throughout their set so far, and it continues now right outside of Launchpad. It's Weibo Gaming nearby, and Sharky's already gone from the fight.
Yeah, this is definitely not the start that Virtus.pro would have been looking for. Looks like Wei and Pricey might be able to get out of there okay. They do have the beacon as well, so they'll be able to get that revive. Heroez, another team that we mentioned at the start of the day, they're very quickly gone.
Yeah.
That is at the hands of Akuma. A lot of early fighting happening here. And actually, it's a question that I have for you. Have you found that with the new drop format, has that led to a bit more of an early game action just because teams are maybe not as comfortable with their rotates out of their drop locations?
The safe answer is it depends. But truthfully, it really does depend on how it looks, right? In terms of the map draft itself, who is close to one another. We saw Weibo Gaming and Virtus.pro nearby. We expected them to run into each other, and exactly what's happening. Same could be said with Akuma a while ago over at Heroes contesting Barometer after their initial drop. A scan comes on out. Wei's already down there by Peak God, and here we go again. Weibo Gaming, a start they've been looking for all throughout the split. 2 KP to begin the action with.
They've got to be a little bit careful though, because Final Dreamer on the other side of this engagement, they were sort of coming up from Devastated Coast. You actually get that final elimination onto Pricey. No contest in the direction of Weibo, it looks like, from Final Dream. They're not going to try and get too aggressive out of it, but they'll be happy to at least take one of those points away. Weibo, yeah, as mentioned as well, Weibo, you know, they kind of in a similar position to Virtus.pro, where their first few weeks just haven't really been up to scratch, especially considering how well they performed in the previous split. So they definitely need a good start today, and they probably need more than just a good start. They're going to need probably those 25 points if they want to get back into any kind of a discussion. So got to start well, got to finish well, and got to find some of that pizzazz that they used to possess.
Absolutely. They need to have those monstrous 30-point games that they did last split. And it's crazy to think you see a defending champion of the region struggle like this right now. There's so much to play for Weibo Gaming, but another one we have to watch out for. EVOS Predator, very hyped up to see Nutsuro-sama. Actually, he had the most damage, I believe, during his debut. He had the most damage all throughout their lobby. over the likes of Legends Gaming and Strafing Flame especially. And Utsuro-sama has been a streamer for a while. His sniping talent is still there. And look at go. Longbow in hand as EVOS have a half of Thunderwatch right now. Or rather of Stormcatcher here.
Yeah, always have to keep an eye on him when he's got a sniper in hand. But nothing doing just yet. Grape Soda at the top of command center.
Oh, like the
taking
rebrand.
things slowly.
Come on, like, where's Grape Fanta? Why do I get Grape Soda now? It's like we went to the bargain bin convenience store and just got a knockoff brand. Oh.
What's the best grape flavored treat you can get that's not actually grape?
I mean, to
Bubblegum?
be fair, here in the Philippines, we actually have a Grape Fanta, actually.
Right.
We have, it's called Royal True Grape. It's like a different rebrand. But Bubblegum's a really good flavor. I've also had, like, watermelon soda that's pretty good, too.
Just think about, like, I don't know what kind of grape flavored things there are. You know that fake grape flavor that you can get from, like, anywhere? I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the juice box?
Yeah, juice box or... I think grape bubblegum's kind of goated. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Or maybe we should make grape toothpaste or something like that. Maybe that's a thing. I digress.
Whenever I go to Korea, I'll get you those grape gum jellies, and you're gonna see it's really good.
Wait, is that a fake grape? I've seen a fake grape that looks like a grape, but it's not a real grape. It looks like a grape. It's made to taste like a grape, but it's not a real grape.
No, it's like a fake grape in a bubblegum packaging.
That's
wow.
wild.
So guys, there you go, your grape bubblegum lore. Now we go back into Apex Legends, and interesting enough, VK Gaming and Remarkable Team taking one of those tunnels for themselves. Now we see the ring pull even closer and narrower, and with that being said, this is a compound to the east here, Elfish, which means SaWeiQi in a good spot. LGD also hedging their bets and staying in secret facility just to have elevation if that ring pulls a little bit more north than expected.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of compounds like this in my time, kind of reminiscent of a Dark Zero compound back in the day. Let's see what that ring pull is going to look like for MXF. I think this one's a little bit further out to the eastern side than that famous sort of Dark Zero win, but it still could go in that same direction. LGD as well, not going to be too disappointed by things either. It sort of really depends on where things are going to pull for the next couple, but gives you a lot of room to work. And for the teams in Stormcatcher, it gets really messy, right? Because there's so many teams that are having to inevitably exit Stormcatcher at the same time, and even those teams that have to come across further from the west. So
yeah,
keep an eye on that, how that plays out. X and Y having a little bit of a back and forth right now against True, but nothing really coming of it yet.
I mean, speaking of the teams from the west, these are two teams right now that we're watching at the south side of Stormcatcher, right? X and Y and True, both coming in from Cenote Cave as well as the mill, respectively. It's something you tackled a while ago. Teams have been taking the mill away from DreamFire when they have draft priority. Exactly like you said, the lesser teams, the teams that are a bit newer to ALGS, given that chance to have a better rotation path moving forward. Let's see what True can do with that one. X and Y, though, on the other hand, there's only their fourth series and they're within the top 7. I've seen them, though, multiple times die in this area once they transit trying to make their way to Stormcatcher, so they need to be careful after that first fight versus True later on.
Yeah, I don't hate it as a concept, right? It sort of feels like everything's against you when you're a new team into the ALGS, so
just get bullied.
You maybe deserve a little bit of a helping hand, and hopefully that'll help. You don't necessarily need to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. In this case, it's almost like stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, maybe a bit Robin Hood-esque. True being given the mill. DreamFire, I don't know, they seem to be struggling again a little bit this split, so maybe they're not too happy with things.
Oh, but keep going gaming. Bit of engagement versus Guild, and this is big as KPG have found a team that loves to play a bit more into the late game. Tree Cleaner and the rest wipe the floor out of Guild, and I'm sorry about your scouting report, man, because you have just cursed them to begin this game 1 with. Yeah, rough rotation really for them coming out of the zone and running straight into KPG, and honestly they didn't really have anywhere to go because they had Grape Soda right behind them as well. If they would have stayed in the ring a little bit longer, it was going to be problems anyway. Back over to Stormcatcher, and imagine that there's no shortage of teams having a little bit of a stoush here. EVOS Predator trying to lock it down for the moment. More of a pylon.
Yeah, I mean it's really more of just like a presence showing kind of engagement rather than an actual fight. They're just trying to sort of keep one another at bay for now.
I agree with you. Just because EVOS Predator, they don't want to give a priority exiting Stormcatcher later on. But with the knock onto Nutsuru-sama, that's a go signal here for DreamFire to try and take the fight. No Nim wanting to go for the push. The Havoc doing some immense damage. 3MZ back to cover though, a bit of a reset. But while this happens, it's EVOS being picked apart even by NoCredit. EVOS Predator, they are gone now. And DreamFire still hold off anyone coming their way.
Yeah, big dub for DreamFire. Obviously clears things out pretty substantially, but also some much needed upgrades. The Evos helping them out. And, well, Sloan said he wins the race for DreamFire, although maybe that's not necessarily true to form for a team such as them. They do tend to have those big games here and there. Could be the start of something special for them. And they're not going to have to move just yet. They've got some time to buy. Have to wait and see where that next ring is going to end up pulling. We're obviously fairly well aware that this one was going to go out toward the east, but next ring will be an interesting one. Could be a big deciding factor. If it goes back over Stormcatcher, then it gets pretty chaotic as well.
I agree with you, especially if it shifts back right to that southern building into the compound, it's gonna get wild. But right now, it's so much more out in the open. And MXF, as well as Weibo Gaming, who has been lying in wait there by Launchpad, will actually get a good spot to make their way into the ring. Also, keep an eye out in the Legends. You still see a lot more fuses compared to other regions here in APAC South. Only second, perhaps, to APAC North themselves. Barbecue, though, in Final Dream, a scuffle now as it's Papa bringing in the pain. Ronin onto the floor, but King trades it evenly. Now, Final Dream trying to get a bit of cover. Papa's really low. 7-Ed has been down too, and Barbecue has been a team really good at the fight from the qualifiers. They keep that pressure on now here in the Pro League, and they will get the wipe, but they're under duress because of another squad.
Yeah, it gets pretty busy now that the zone's starting to get pretty small, and I'm even kind of keeping an eye on Weibo Gaming at the moment as they are starting to push their way forward. We've jumped over to an MXF inside of this orange. I don't know if there's going to end up being a fight, or if Weibo Gaming are more than happy to just take control of the roof. You can kind of coexist in the circumstances like this, and if you're either of these two teams, it's definitely in your best interests not to fight right now with the zone pulling in this direction. In saying that, though, neither team actually aware that the zone's going to end on top of them. It looks like they're both happy with the real estate that's been acquired, and so nothing too crazy to happen over the orange just yet.
While this happens, DreamFire fighting for their lives in Stormcatcher and winning Weibo MXF. This is just them holding the same nut together, and at least they're gonna just try to wait out the rest of the ring. It's getting crazy though in Stormcatcher. Grape Soda's nearby, you have Fruit Salad win it, and while this happens, WBG, once they see at least any kind of weakness here, Elfish, they're gonna go for it. Barbecue though, they got the respawn going, they're back to a trio and flying in to where the rest of the chaos is unfolding in the lobby here.
Yeah, Barbecue also haven't got the next ring information, which is gonna mean they'll pull up short. I'm not too confident about their chances. They've got teams below them, down the hill, they've got teams above them. They're gonna go right in the direction of Akuma, and surely this just does not end well. They've been popping damage from every direction, and I'm starting to see them drop now as well as we back over to Stormcatcher. A bit of damage going down there as well, but yeah, touching on Barbecue, it's just not going well.
That's been their struggle. When they go for the rotate, they do put themselves in bad predicaments. When they go for the 3v3 fight, it's all good for them. But a team who's wisely lying in wait is XNY. JR yet again, his stats don't lie. He's been incredible, already getting the down onto King. XD wanted to go for the call and push. They're playing yet again onto the fuse, something that they've innovated really within APAC South. Fruit Salad, Barbecue, both eliminated. It looks to be lunchtime here for the lobby.
Yeah, the XNY roster, they kind of continue to plug away, don't they? They've been quite solid, quite consistent over the last couple of splits, and already a pretty decent start to the day. Who are trying to keep themselves pretty healthy as well. They've got the 3 members alive still, though Granny Smith needs to be careful with that forward position, the point man type position. I'm interested to see how these teams are going to get out of this sticky situation, though, because it's a pretty messy spot to be in. And they have to rotate up and around Stormcatcher.
Ooh. First goal was the Dark Veil, but we look at DreamFire, who have been fighting for their lives. 8 points right now on the board. They're in the tentative lead, but with Pete, the only one still standing right now, it's very difficult to try and get those banners and look to reset DreamFire back into the action down below. X and Y have been waiting for this fight. They've been goading True. Come on, fight us. Let's go already. But an evac tower being set by Granny Smith. This might just be a bailout here from True instead.
Yeah, it's exactly what they need, isn't it? Right, it was always going to be a bit of a tough run to make on the ground. Granny Smith.
Oh no.
Oh, unfortunately not quite getting out of dodge in time. Still, it'll be enough for the remaining 2 members to cross into central position, though. This doesn't really give you a whole lot of cover, and you want to keep your heads down. I don't know that that's going to be too easy. There'll be a lot of teams still rotating their way in. Keeping an eye in particular on Akuma, who are flying through the air at the moment.
They just use the evac tower. They're really chasing True right now after getting that knock. On the other hand, though, KPG have rotated their way towards the north side of the ring, and you can see that this is going to pull towards MXF and Weibo Gaming yet again. We watch the action here. SWQ noticing Akuma nearby. Donut and the rest looking to find any kind of fight within the smoke as X and Y eliminated again in that position. LJE gone to Donut now down to the ground, and SWQ just getting eviscerated here. Cut the ribbons by Rogers and the rest. Akuma is gone here. Same can be said for the rest of SWQ. A single member left as True takes advantage and wipes them out.
Man, look at that kill feed. Akuma, DreamFire, Grape, Soda, SWQ all eliminated in the blink of an eye. That rotation was rough for everybody. Unless, of course, your name is Weibo or MXF. They're both holding on to that eastern or southern side of the next zone quite nicely. KPG, to be fair, hold up on the cliff as well, though they are really copping the beating from Jackie Chen.
You want to farm damage? Just press Q on the fuse. Do you like fuse here, Elfish? Because we have decided to adopt this for quite a while, especially with the evac tower, with the ultimate combo. But VK Gaming, it will be easy for them to find True. Make it now 4 squads remaining.
He's definitely not the legend that I choose to play, let's just say. But yeah, I think he's definitely getting a bit of work done here. Given the circumstances, you can't be too disappointed by it. But VK Gaming, 13 points on the board already from game 1, and a chance to get even more than that. They have cleaned house coming out of Stormcatcher. They've got the entire western side of the zone under their security, I suppose. What's the word for that? Under their watchful eye. Let's just go with their watchful eye. How about that? But it's really awkward still having to push their way down the hill here.
Oh, that is not good for Tree Cleaner. A bit of a struggle here for VK as they look to move into APG. Struggle right now. Arcsoid's getting lobbed. Nade's going to be the play too. KH into cover here with a shield battery, but VK is piling that pressure on towards Keep Going Gaming. Tree Cleaner set up with a wall. It's not enough to transition from VK finding a squad to fight, and Tree Cleaner is just cut down. Timber goes Keep Going Gaming as VK Gaming is rampaging here. MXF now a victim too. Weibo taking the fight to them, but this is well played by AOE. He is just holding steady here within the corner. Arturius is set up, keeping MXF alive.
Perfect opportunity, though, for VK Gaming to kind of keep an eye on things. They're waiting for that fight to ensue a little further, and it's kind of not, right? Weibo have lost a player, and MXF have at least managed to get the revive onto Asaran. VK Gaming not too eager to push in off the back of that just yet. There hasn't been enough damage done as far as they're concerned to make this an easy one to finish off. So they'll play it slow. They're picking up a couple of death boxes. And they'll be ready to go once this actually kicks off. It will certainly be MXF and Weibo running into one another a little quicker than VK Gaming, who have a bit more room to play in the next zone.
11 kills on VK Gaming right now. They've already hit double digits. We're going to get a lot of points from this lobby. But MXF happy to stay inside their orange for the time being. Weibo, though, is right beside them. He said effectively 2v3, and this is going to be a fight for second place. VK Gaming have all the setup that they would like here right now.
Yep. It's perfect, right? They've got the crossfire angles, they've got the zone control, they're fairly central. Going to be happy with the setup, and Weibo, I don't know, they're going to be under the pump at the moment. Pete, God, he's gone for the double! No way! Oh. There might still be a world in here. MXF trying to hold on, but Weibo managed to grab the second, and, well, ultimately we knew it was going to be VK taking the dub, but Weibo have to be happy with that.
Yeah, they played for second, they got second, and wow, doing some immense damage as per usual. Well done by VK Gaming, though. They carved the path from Stormcatcher. They took the fight towards every other squad along the way, and with that being said, Lace, that's double digits kills for VK Gaming.
Yeah, what a good start for VK Gaming. I feel like they sort of kept their wits about them and just had to, I guess, wait a little bit patiently for, MXF and Weibo to sort of have their slight little fight and just come in and just take that win. But Weibo, I just want to have a little bit of a comment on them, Dax, being able to, I guess, to focus on the rotate quite early on and hold that position for such a long time. You know, we've been talking about them often, saying that they really need to take the win today to become, back into the top couple of squads. But what a good start from them. It was absolutely exceptional being able to collect a little bit more KP right at the end there and take second place. This could be a good day for them.
Agreed. Just because they played so well with the ring that was given, especially with the POI, they started courtesy of Launchpad, right? They effectively looked for Virtus.pro, took that fight, played priority, and made sure that they would be in position to keep the pressure on the MXF. Them losing a member, though, versus MXF in that fight did hamper their chances for taking the dub. Instead, those honors go to VK Gaming. 11 kills, first place. That's over 20 points right now coming their way. I also want to say, we didn't see too much of it from DreamFire on the feed itself, but they got 8 kills, holding off the likes of EVOS Predator,
NoCredit,
teams, I believe, like NoCredit, yeah, like you mentioned. It was just a good showing from DreamFire, and some of these Chinese teams that we've been waiting to see wake on up within the APAC-South lobbies. Maybe today is their day.
Yeah, no, I was kind of keeping an eye on the kill feed there for you, Dax and DreamFire. They're really turning up today. They had such a long fight with NoCredit. You could just see them sort of trading knocks, and NoCredit, Sadia can just hold on for dear life. Then I think Remarkable was kind of joining in on the action as well, but DreamFire managed to come out on top from those 2 squads, but at the cost of 2 players. But, taking away some awesome kills there as we see VK Gaming with 11 kills. Didn't really get to see too much of, I guess, them sort of playing, but, stealthy sort of action from them and be able to take out that dub. But then Weibo coming with 5 kills with this second place. Like we said, they sort of held their position for quite a long time. I think they are probably going to focus on the rotate and getting those top placements because they are sitting quite far down over on our overall standings, and they really need to do something today to be able to climb up to the top.
Yeah, and I just want to say a quick little shout out to True, top 5 with 5 KP. That is a good start for a team that is looking to make a case within the Pro League lobby. Surprisingly enough, Lace, though, Grape Soda, because of the rebrand, they don't get their first map win or first big game as per usual. I'd say it's because we started Storm Point rather than World's Edge, but we go down the leaderboard here right now and struggle still. Virtus.pro, what is going on with them? Guild Esports, surprisingly enough, getting caught out early. EVOS Predator also outmaneuvered within the POI too. So those names, we're looking to see if they can rally moving forward into the rest of the lobby.
Yeah, Virtus.pro about 28th on our series standing, and MXF, who absolutely had a cracker of a game just there, sitting in 5th place. They're going to definitely take over Virtus.pro with ease. So these teams at the bottom really need to do something today, while our juggernaut team of Legends Gaming is sort of a little bit out of the way, along with Makers. We're saying this is going to make a little bit of room for Guild as well to sort of maybe take that second place. But that's only match number 1, guys. There's still plenty of matches here for Grapes B versus C. So we're going to take ourselves a short little break, and we will see you after it.
This is the Split 1 playoffs, and this is Los Angeles. We have the 40 best teams from around the world, 120 of the greatest players to ever play the game, all fighting for their chance to win a LAN and to hold up that ALGS trophy. Every single one of these players have given everything they have for months to be up on the stage. Because this is ALGS.
A violet sky for Rex. PK grabs the second, makes it a 2-pump, launches it, but there's no way he hits that Sensi shot.
Nasky moves in there. He has to reload. It's Finder. He beats them both. He's just better. There's Yuka. Can he hit the braver shot? Leica, can he clutch it up right behind him? The melee.
Hacken swings through the smoke. Beast of the Hunt is activated. He is farming.
Crack big. Speaking. Back on to 1. Follow good. Kill the bang.
Back one.
2 dead. 1.
They're lying in wait, and we are just sending it. Sauce the IGL finds him, and here comes BR Demons for the fight of their lives, the cleanup round.
To at least clear space. Yeah, nading. Oh my gosh. Huge nade.
Weibo not going to be maybe the guns to use in this situation, but the Peacekeeper certainly is on the contest.
Does nothing go through? Is this really happening?
With the goal knockdown, Shield comes back. Roller in hand. He can do it. Cloud9 are down.
3 days ago, we started with 120 of the greatest players from 6 different regions from around the world, and now we're down to just 60. Their journey started back in January, and this is everything that they've been fighting for right now. Only one team will be crowned our newest ALGS LAN winner, but all 20 teams will be fighting for their share of $1 million.
And the question that everybody had coming into this week, can anybody dethrone the dynasties?
Boys, we're here. It was Legend Gaming. And remember, can they get the final kills? Yes, they can. But sadly, there is always one more, and it's Cloud9.
But this is just opening the door for VP to come in. SaWeiQi's return to the finals.
You see the pings here, he's trying to heal up. He gets a one-shot, the Design goes knocked. I mean, they found the premise, but right now they knew that they weren't going to win in their positioning because they were pinched. TSM get eliminated and Reject Winity. Clean up shot. They drop down. Knowing to fully swing it onto them. The trade though. As Zyno gets a knock onto Slayer. Frex is the last one alive. He gets a knock afterwards. And LG.
To talk about Dark Zero again, we're talking about match point teams. This could be their opportunity to hit match point here.
One more placement is all Reject Winity need so far. And there we go, as Serenity and Dark Zero eliminated, Reject Winity will cross that threshold.
2 teams already at match point, but we need to get that dub. They think they're safe, but they're waiting for them! They're waiting for them! The jump from Elevate to catch match pointing Dark Zero off guard! No banner for you!
They don't make match point, Elevate come in!
And Elevate from 0 to 100!
Fnatic have moved up to match point here, but that might be it for them in this game. Zero goes down to Coinful.
Legends may have saved the day!
And now they're pushing down to keep it going.
Following up with Jens, the last one alive. Legends try to fully send it. It's up to them, but they take out Dark Zero.
The full 307 are back up, and they're gonna send it in. Nasky stands up.
No way!
Here come SSG!
SSG to deny Dark Zero the chance of victory. Reject Winity now getting involved.
They want to clear out this side. They see kills available. They see an opportunity to clear out SSG and take control of this side of zone.
5 remain. Fnatic still alive and still approaching from the south here. And Aurora just lost one of their rotation. It might be 2, it could be all 3. And another match point team goes down.
Fnatic are thinking the same thing at the moment, trying to get Leica back to his feet, but UKF will go down as well.
Ready. Inting. Barrels.
07 eliminate, but it's all up to Waltzy now. Fnatic will go down! No! Not much will fall as well. We're down to 6 squads.
But it's disguised that they're fighting up against another match point team, but Reject Winity have the extra player.
They have 2 down. They just need to find the third. It's going to be disguised down as well. They took that fight a little bit earlier. They win the fight against DSG, and now it's about winning one more.
Look at C9. Look at the position Serenity are in. Everything falling into place. Reject Winity are just going to watch this unfold in front of their very eyes. Surely it's going to be the moment for APAC North here.
Biding their time, waiting for their moment. As all of Reject Winity find themselves at Red EVOS. It's a massive moment for Apex. It's a huge moment for APAC North.
It will be Reject Winity that will ring around this arena, that will ring around the Apex scene.
Put your hands together for your winners of the ALGS Split 1 playoffs. Reject Winity.
Straight from break to game, here we go into map number 2. Thanks to Lace, of course, for getting down the action with me within that post game. But Elfish, exciting times as we go straight into another one, and it's VK Gaming on top of things with 23 points.
Yeah, that's what we love to see. Don't need anything to do with that break. Straight into game. Happy to do it. Happy with that. Quick and dirty. VK Gaming were pretty quick and dirty actually through that first game as well. 23 points. 11 KP. Pretty insane from them, but does also have to be said that Weibo are kind of coming back into their own a little bit. They did have a pretty decent game there as well. Took that second place by the skin of their teeth, and we saw, again, Gugu, you know, with a little bit more of that characteristic display from previous splits. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that that's going to continue throughout the day, because Weibo, they're in that position where it's like, well, unless they really have a stellar day, they're probably out of the conversation for the rest of the split. But
yeah,
who knows? We'll see what happens.
I mean, Gugu has been very consistent still with his performance. Same couldn't be really said with the rest of Weibo. And looking at this ring, center of the map towards lift perhaps, maybe can shift towards Jurassic itself. But I do want to point out with VK Gaming, it has just been many eyes actually on them, especially the fact that they have that new coaching structure with, I believe, Razy in it, having QQ from AGL. It's done wonders for VK Gaming within the Pro League and even before it.
Yeah, definitely. One team that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, again, going into this game, obviously, is VP. Bit of a bad start for them on game 1. Should be a fairly straightforward adaptation for them to make and say, okay, well, we're not going to run into Weibo Gaming at Launchpad. Or if we do, you know, maybe we're going to approach it in a bit of a different way. But certainly can't afford to be dropping out quite as early as they did in that previous round. So see how they adapt to things.
And also to take note, we saw a while ago by Barometer, Akuma, a new trio, Walsh, Crusader, and Snoop together, because we did see a movement actually within the rosters. Grape Soda has a new third. Love to see if we can actually focus on him being there. Fussy of Onyx Esports fame, being within Moist Esports, Boogie Borders. We all remember how much he has accomplished within his career. So interesting to see Akuma try and find a little bit of impact with a few more newer players coming into this one. NoCredit though, hand watching their POV, seeing some teams fly on by. They came from Jurassic, POI that Savior loves to run whenever he can, and the rest of the teams already realizing a ring very familiar to many. This can just pull towards the compound where NoCredit and Remarkable team are stationed to.
Yeah, very central ring pool. It's pretty standard stuff here on Storm Point. You saw a couple of teams flying through the air. One of them was Guild. Highlighted them at the start of the day, and they also, similar to VP, didn't really have a very good start during game 1. So have to do a little better this time around. VK Gaming into an early stoush, and it seems that their run might be coming to an end a little earlier than they would have liked. 23 points in the frame, but the average might be brought down pretty substantially if they get knocked out here.
Yeah, QQ in danger as LGD have 2 still standing. Ming Wei happy to play within the zone immediately. We've seen from LGD, they've had incredible second place runs within lobbies with almost no KP. Most of the points come from placements, but if you run into them early, they're very deadly. And as we can see, they're securing points early on.
Yeah, big points required from LGD as well, sitting overall on the standings in a fairly precarious position, 17th at the moment. VK Gaming down to just QQ. We'll have a little bit of a look to see if maybe he can recover his teammates, though I'd say it's wishful thinking. I'm not imagining that LGD is going to be moving at all, so not really sure what the avenue of attack is going to be here for QQ, short of maybe just trying to rat it out as a solo.
You've missed some of the most incredible rat games we've seen so far within APAC at Elfish, like minutes after minutes, especially with the new draft system. I've seen teams lose 2, come back for another respawn beacon, do it all over again, get chased in a trident. It gets pretty crazy sometimes when you're a solo early on here.
Yeah, not going to be too fun, especially when you're in the center of the zone. Like, if you're a solo out on the edge, sure, there might be a bit more of an opportunity, right? To just go out inside the zone and do some work.
He's so sneaky. QQ has taken a banner right under the noses of LGD. But he has been spotted, so he has to run away. LGD giving chase while we're watching Barbecue also transition. QQ, though, he was very, very sneaky there in 5s to keep the fight going for VK.
Yeah, down to about half HP, but has gotten out. I don't know where you get the res, though. That's the thing. Like, getting the bans one thing. Oh, but he was spotted. Spotted by DreamFire.
Like you said, Middle of the ring is so difficult because teams are just gonna run into you.
Yep. Yeah, they heard those shots. They must have been looking in that direction and just sort of picked him off. He was down to half HP, so it was an easy, clean couple of shots in there. But unfortunate, VK can't go back to back. They can't even remotely close to go back to back. So ends up being 23 points out of 2 games, which is just not as impressive as 23 out of 1 by any stretch of the imagination.
Just bring the point average a little bit lower than you would expect if you can actually play longer here. But Barbecue, they've been trying to get this house away from KPG. They've done so. Many of our buildings now relatively occupied. DreamFire, one of the teams that have realized, okay, there's no vacancy at all. But EVOS Predator, anytime you give them height, you know they're gonna take it. Nutsuru-sama and the rest, scopes ready, just pinging enemies and looking to see who they can farm Evo from.
SWQ taking it slow in command center. Seems like they're pretty aware of Grape Soda's positioning. This crossfire setup that they've established. Both teams actually quite aware of one another by the looks of it. No one getting too eager to take the fight to one another. And to be fair, there's not really much of a need. But SWQ hold up inside of command center. Maybe don't have as many options as what Grape Soda do.
They can exit from the south though. And perhaps that's what Grape Soda wants. They just want to confirm that they're going to be a team rotating the latest from the north. They start from Zeus Station, if I remember correctly. And with that being said, SWQ has to back on the way. And if it's interesting, if they decide to play outside that ring and wrap around Grape Soda, maybe they can surprise them. But it's looking unlikely. They'd probably run into MXF and EVOS instead. On the other side of the map, though, True had a good showing a while ago. And they're just gatekeeping Final Dream and Fruit Salad across Jurassic here.
That would be a pretty hectic rotate that SWQ would have to make, though. I am kind of watching them run into the ring.
Oh.
So
they can
I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch just yet. And to be fair, to their own right, Grape Soda aren't really moving just yet either. We'll turn away from that discussion for the moment, though, as X and Y, Biden in tow, are going to start to push their way in as well. Fair bit of distance to cover for them, but it's a fairly empty side of the zone, so nothing really happening over there. Weibo, though, yeah, they spotted. It's MXF.
MXF, their victim yet again. And Weibo Gaming have a handle of the east side of the map. Given that they play Launchpad so well, they're just effectively making it bothersome from any team that's from Devastated Coast within the Eastern Trail towards their Lightning Rod Stormcatcher. And Weibo right now, smarter calls coming into today. They're just not... They're keeping away from the usual action and taking the standard 3v3 fight that they're a lot better at there, Elfish.
Enemy spotted.
Yeah, some good shots. Weibo happy with the points that they're getting. A decent day so far. Virtus.pro highlighted them a little bit earlier on in the piece. They might actually be aware of Artorius' position. Most certainly are now. ShaWeiQi wanting that information. A couple of shots do go off. Artorius is going to keep his head down as much as possible. But the good news is VP is still alive. Okay, so they're in the discussion, at least for the moment. Hasn't, it hasn't turned into a fantastic game for them. There's still 19 teams alive, but it is better than the first game. So you kind of got to take the small wins when they come.
It's been a nightmare for Virtus.pro, really. After such a good showing back in LAN in LA, especially with ShaWeiQi's incredible return. I still remember the game that they took over Dark Zero, especially. It's making ShaWeiQi have a little bit of a smile there versus former team. It's just not happening as soon as they got back within the region. But on the other side, too, keep an eye out for Grape Soda. Again, I mentioned a while ago, Fussy, a veteran, being brought into the roster. There's a lot of talent, really, for Grape Soda. Low-key, from coaching back to playing, looking to do even better again in another run here, the Pro League. ArcStars being lobbed past the waterfall. As it stands, Grape Soda taking the fight now. A quick little grab lift. They're giving chase to EVOS Predator here.
Yeah, take the elevator up the cliff. That's all good. You have to be a little bit careful because SWQ did end up making that rotate in around behind to the north. Not in a position really to pressure Grape Soda at the moment, but if this fight would take a little too long, or maybe Grape Soda would lose a player, you know that SWQ would be headed in that direction. And in fact, they are kind of hanging around, having a bit of a look. It does have me somewhat worried. That'll be a conversation for later on as we now take a look at Fruit Salad. Yummy, yummy. And down toward the southern side of the map.
You fans?
So, Yeah, I mean, a couple of shots with this triple take, and tell you what, I'm always a fan of a food-related name. I think that's always a dub as far as I'm concerned.
Dude, you've been here for years now. Which has been your favorite food to team, basically? Like, it doesn't matter who's on the team, but which food has been your favorite, favorite team, basically?
I mean, it's hard to kind of go past Tom Yum Kung, I think.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
so good.
That's just... It always is the thing is, I hated saying it, because it's a hard name to, like, throw in as you're doing play-by-play, but Tom Yum Kung, they had a great name, they had a great logo, too, so I think they, for me, get the nod.
The happy shrimp with the gun. I will never forget that one. But now let's see the ring, and actually it just goes straight into the middle again, where NoCredit and the Marvelous team were betting on to begin with. Virtus.pro, though, still hunting for anyone nearby. Akuma effectively encircling them right now in a bit of a triangle formation, but VP is the one all together to run into Walsh here, who's alone, isolated from the rest of this roster. Sharky also catching out Snoop, and this is perfect for Virtus.pro, but the problem is DreamFire is also nearby, knocking on their doorstep.
Yep, most definitely. DreamFire have heard the dinner bell being rung, and they want to have a look back. 3MZ is holding the flank, making sure there's no push coming in DreamFire's direction. And all is well as far as DreamFire are concerned. I wonder, though, how the rest of this engagement goes. I mean, Virtus.pro, even if they do win this fight, are going to have a pretty tough rotate to make. And SaWeiQi, where have they ended up? Still in Cascade Falls. Actually, holding on to the same building as Guild at the moment. Guild are on the roof.
Do they know?
Surely.
Quick little scan will confirm those intentions. Akuma eliminated also off screen, but Guild biding their time. They don't want to get eliminated too early on before this ring closes. That being said, SaWeiQi gonna set the wall. Now Guild have the advantage from above. Go for the scan here. Rolling Thunder also gonna be the call. And Guild would have to back away and let SaWeiQi loose.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, SaWeiQi do have to invest quite a bit for that rotate, and to be fair, they've run into a bit of trouble. It's Heroez on the other side of this engagement that they're going up against, and already SaWeiQi so low. Donut having to pop a bat, healing down to the Rolling Thunder, and Crazy Kong might not last too much longer. A sliver of HP for him. He's the last man standing. Guild are going to take the opportunity to push their way across as well, running straight in behind SaWeiQi, but we'll hear from Guild as they perhaps get wrecked. Never mind, they're done. We don't even get time to throw to the listening until Heroez end up being the ones on top.
That is so unfortunate for Guild. They had such a good call to go for the third party. Darkbay also to isolate the fight, but they lose out versus Bastions and the rest, who've been trying to find their form within these games too. But here we go, DreamFire, more notable today to the happiness of the DF faithful. 3MZ and the rest now pushing forward. Jackie Chan getting down here by LGD elsewhere. And LGD, we're seeing more of a fight from them today. It's a 2v3 right now as LD looks for the angle, but Gugu still making them work for it. Feiju also into trouble. Virtus.pro eliminated the off-screen. It's LGD still with the advantage, pressuring Weibo Gaming. Peak God, what can he do? No 1v2 for you, good sir, as LGD will take that one.
Yeah, always going to be scary, though, when it's Weibo Gaming on the other side of that fight. Obviously, we saw what they could do up against MXF in that second versus third fight in the previous game. LGD not going to make the same mistake, and have done a very good job now of clearing the vast majority of that northeastern side out. So their rotation into the next zone would be relatively unhindered, which is not the same that can be said for X and Y. DreamFire down there on the south as well. This will get pretty busy as they start to try to work their way in through that smoke.
Yeah, and they're stalking DreamFire here. I dare say, though, LGD and DreamFire, they probably just got a swift kick in the head coming into today, effectively. They know they need to make some big games if they still want to make a chance towards land. DreamFire also using a respawn beacon to try and bring themselves back to full. While this happens, Grape Soda, they've spotted out Heroez. They're ready to go for the push. Let's listen and see how they hound the opposition.
He's on me somewhere.
Save scan, save scan.
I don't want to get clipped by him. He's hitting me.
Ready, scan, scan, scan. Scan as soon as you finish, and then we go.
Knocked him 165, 165 on that
kill. Yeah, we walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up.
We're in here, we're in.
Nice, nice, nice.
I'm looking for that fucking kill, he's one.
Just care left, care left.
He's right in front of me. One shot.
Yeah, same. Dead.
Nice. I got fucked by that.
I'm chilling.
I have no bats again.
It's like safe enough on me. I have 2 bats, I can drop you 1. Claps, you have bats?
They're fighting, I think they might be fighting on the right.
Right, yeah, we third right. Any ult excel?
No, they're not.
No.
I have to go back.
Chilling again. I got a bat.
No big meds, no big meds.
I have 1 bat left.
One bat.
There's a box there.
Giant's
Running
miles.
up here. Kills.
Gimme.
Yeah.
Farming on them.
Right's fighting now.
Flash.
No, they're trying to fight us. No. We're good. We're good.
On
Keep
cannon.
left.
Any syringes?
Yeah, dropping.
On cannon.
I'm
There's a
also
team on
selling
cannon. Like in front of us somewhere.
Can we triple peek right?
Yeah.
Don't peek it yet.
Yeah.
Swing on 3. Ready?
They're getting
Ready?
naded.
3,
One might
2,
have died.
1. Go. This corner. Crack blood.
Massive
We wiped
blood,
that.
massive
Do you have ulti?
No.
I'm nading.
I'm one. I need the armor swap from the box.
Good nade, 100 dip.
Yeah.
100 map.
Yeah, nading as well.
We're gonna fight. We wipe this. Wipe this.
60.
30 flash on 1. You gotta hard wipe it.
And so unfortunate. Grape Soda falls there, fizzling out, even though we hear them a lot more vocal within the comms with their new addition. But we see KPG just hiding, lying in wait. LGD just above them right now. Arcstar's being thrown. It's danger here for Bible and the rest, and he needs to get the cover, but it's CK who finds him from afar. X and Y also finding DreamFire eliminated off stream. KPG next to be gone. We're down to the top 5 here as LGD, they're hurting, and Remarkable Team are trying to find the advantage. Feiju has to get back into cover. It's delicate. It's such a decisive fight from Barbecue 2, finding X and Y action from both north to south as we are left to 4 squads here.
Yeah, perfect description from you there. A very decisive fight indeed from Barbecue, pushing their way forward and recognizing their advantage. LGD on their attempted rotate haven't quite managed to make it into the ring. So top 3 now. Of course, Barbecue, as we mentioned, Remarkable Team and NoCredit, the last 3 standing, all at full strength. There is only Remarkable Team outside the ring at the moment, though. They'll be able to push their way in on the northern side relatively easily. Good damage down. Very cheeky indeed with that Havoc. Starting to run out of energy ammo, though.
NoCredit has been working on a famine effectively. They're still on blue-purple compared to the full purples on one side, and then Barbecue having some reds within these next few bullets. Scan comes on out, very cheeky indeed, looking for the opportunity. But while this happens, Barbecue's actually angling themselves a little bit more to the middle of the next ring of how it closes in. Remarkable Team, the ones looking at them, and there's a small chance here for NoCredit to take a better spot and move forward.
Golden City wins the race, though. You never want to be that first team taking the fight. And there's 3 remaining. Open up the door for a third party to come through and have a good time. Barbecue, some chip damage. I have to say that maybe Barbecue holding on to the best position in the zone at the moment. They're certainly the closest to the center, which will become more valuable as time goes on.
And it's good cover. Oh, but Remarkable Team, yet again, always different, always trying to be innovative here with the caustic traps being set on up. Watch out though, Turtle's in trouble. NoCredit also spotting that, and all forces are looking towards Remarkable Team right now. Effectively, Remarkable Team, the spotlight's on them, and they're gonna be the ones in danger here.
Damage back and forth, but nothing doing so far as the knocks are concerned. Barbecue still holding on to their position pretty nicely. Who's going to be the first one to move? It kind of surely has to be NoCredit at this point.
Yeah.
Remarkable Team have got a little bit more room to work with those rocks, and soon as the wall is out of play for NoCredit, I mean, they're going to have to go. They are now pushing their way across. They've managed to make it.
Great timing. And especially once we did see King trying to go for the shield bat to bring his armor back to life. This one rock is separating both Barbecue and Remarkable Team. NoCredit taking advantage of the chaos and just hugging the wall. So a sliver of hope here for NoCredit. They've upped the purples, giving themselves a chance. So many fences right now set on up, and it's Remarkable Team who has to navigate through the labyrinth here. Turtle trying to push on forward, gas for cover. Here he goes now, peeking out as it stands. None of the squads have that priority to push into.
But Remarkable Team still have some room to work behind the rocks for the moment, so they're going to get themselves some extra time to heal on up. NoCredit was thinking about taking matters into their own hands, and now the fight really starts to ensue. That's some great damage down from Lux. First knock already, Barbecue down to 2.
Remarkable Team also taking this opportunity. They find the opposition cornered. Big Z now has been felled by the Peacekeeper, and it's Barbecue gone from the fight. NoCredit on the opposite end. It's a battle for the rock, and we'll see who'll take the game with it. A slide in from very cheeky indeed, and that's very much so effective. NoCredit takes map number 2.
Yeah, really could have been anybody's game though. To be honest, it was a fairly equal 3-on-3-on-3, but NoCredit do it pretty comfortably and put themselves right back into the swing of things.
Yeah, NoCredit being in not the worst position, but, you know, having that a little bit of a longer move into zone there, but being able to sort of hide behind that rock and just aim down sights to make sure Remarkable doesn't peek there is quite surprising, I guess, to see Barbecue actually being taken out first. You know, Remarkable had, I guess, the decision either to swing and take out NoCredit, but good job to NoCredit to be able to move on in and take that win. Elfish, that is something that they have been desperately chasing. You know, they've been doing extremely well throughout the split, but they have not been able to secure a win, you know, up until this point. So huge from that team.
Yeah, well, I suppose the name is ringing true in that sense, that they're not really getting the credit for the hard work that they're putting in. Still, I think there's more that's going to be required today from NoCredit. If we take a look back at their previous couple of lobbies, you know, they haven't really like stood head and shoulders above anybody just yet. So they'll be looking for a high placement, and one win over the course of a day is not quite going to give you that, although it does go a long way across the 6 games. Fairly solid display from Barbecue as well. I thought I really liked how they were kind of controlling the late stage zone, and obviously they didn't get the win converted, but they get a lot of kills on their way through that match. And I don't think they should be too disappointed with how things played out there either.
No, they had a great position there, and, you know, obviously collecting a little bit of KP along the way. It was just a bit of a tough situation, you know. It was either one team was going to swing or which way or the other, and Remarkable, I guess, chosen to sort of swing onto Barbecue was a bit of their downfall, and then NoCredit being able to clutch this up and just take the win and just playing it a little bit patiently, but huge damage coming from them with NoCredit just taking it out on top. I guess it was a little bit sad, actually, a little bit of a tough start. I want to touch on VK Gaming, Elfish. You know, they took out the win in the first match, but a good job from LGD being able to, I guess, solidify that selection and take them down, which, you know, has put them into the 4th place there with a fair few kills. Also, I guess, being able to, you know, take out the likes of Weibo along the way as well, who came in 2nd in our first match. So huge from LGD. Barbecue, again, touching on them. Great game from them. Look at all those kills, being able to get into that 3rd place.
Yeah, 1.9k damage as well, so got some individuals popping off, and taking a look at the scoreboard overall, VK Gaming haven't moved. They are still in 1st, but they got all those points out of game 1, so still a bit more work to be done on their behalf. You can't have every game going perfectly. In saying that, 2 games that have gone poorly in a row for Guild Esports. They were the team that I highlighted at the start of the day, and I don't know if I've cast a curse them or what, but it hasn't really been their day. I want to see them step up for game 3 and at least get themselves back into maybe the top 8 with like a decent sort of game. At the very least, you know, Virtus.pro, we highlighted them going into the 2nd game there as well, and they managed to get those 7 kill points out of game 2. So starting to get the ball rolling a little bit more. It's been a bit of a rougher season for VP, but maybe they're back to it.
Yeah, they moved up about 6 places there. So, you know, getting a few kills along the way, but it was a bit of a tough rotate for them to sort of move into that zone. But, you know, that is a little bit better than what we've seen, Elfish. So maybe you're giving them some, I guess, some good magic today. But, you know, NoCredit just moving up about 10 places. This is huge from them. You know, they have been struggling at the start, but, you know, they are such an exceptional team. And, you know, they've definitely taken something back to the drawing board. So an excellent job from them. We're going to take ourselves a short little break. That was only game number 2. So don't stress. We'll have another match for you after the break, so we'll see you then. Welcome back, everyone. We have groups B versus C showcasing their talents today, and we just saw NoCredit take out the win in game number 2, moving them up about 10 places into second place. They're already about 4 points under VK Gaming, who had a huge game in match number 1, Elfish. We're seeing some lower ranking teams rise up today.
Yeah, Weibo is one of the ones that seems to be kind of coming back into their own. They're sitting in 3rd overall at the moment. They've had 2 pretty solid games. Kind of feels like, you know, there's a big one bubbling away under the surface, and that's kind of what this team is known for. So I'm kind of waiting for it to happen. I mean, DreamFire, you maybe put that in that same discussion. So those 2 teams definitely ones to keep an eye on going into the 3rd game of the day.
Yeah, Weibo is sort of known to be like such an aggressive team where they was, you know, solidify a lot of kills. But it seems like today they're focusing more a little on the rotating, getting those, I guess, placement points, which is something that they need to be able to do being so far down on, I guess, in the rankings. So, you know what? It's been exceptional to sort of see them today. I feel that you are right. I feel like they've got a win in them today. You know, the second game there wasn't up, you know, to, I guess, their standards, being eliminated by LGD a little bit earlier on. But I feel like today is their day.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, even that second game, though, like, they still keep the scoreboard ticking over. They got 4 kill points out of it, 1 placement point. So it's definitely not the worst in that respect. So I think you have to sort of take it as it comes. And sometimes you have a good game, sometimes you have an average game. As long as your average game is still keeping, you know, 4 or 5 points on the board, then you kind of can be happy with that.
As in, I guess as we head on over to game number 3, VK Gaming as well, we're going to see if they can keep their top spot. Let's take it away to match number 3, the last one on Storm Point.
Yes, indeed, the final game of Storm Point, at least for this lobby. We'll of course have another whole lobby after this one, but that's a whole discussion for later on down the track. We'll get back into it. NoCredit here to kick things off after a big dub.
Hey, that's a nice intro. That music's good. Even a prod liked it. But you said it. NoCredit. Just so smart. I really want to look back at the last ring, right? We thought that they would have disadvantage. They had the lesser armor, but the timing on the push, them getting the elevation going, and really is always some smart decisions from Savior and the rest. Say what you will about Savior, especially when he loves to play that Watson, right? He has been a mainstay within APAC-South Pro League for such a good reason, and consistently within those kind of spots, I've made sure that NoCredit is still around. I would love to see if they can make a rally for LAN, but look at this ring. We're gonna be seeing DreamFire, Fruit Salad, Coastal Camp, maybe likely, Barometer, also consideration moving forward within these Southern Pools.
Yeah, bit of a change up once again. We've had a fairly good spread. I mean, to be fair, like Stormcatcher and then fairly central zone pool, but now we go a little further south, and I'll keep my attention turned on to True. They were a team that we highlighted at the start of the show going in that pre-match about the fact that they were able to take a pretty strong drop location, and have they been able to convert off the back of that? Well, taking a look at the scoreboard as it sort of scrolls through the top there, still waiting to see them pop up, so it doesn't really seem like it's really coming together for them. 11 with 10 points. I mean, it's not awful, but still leaving a bit to be desired.
It's better than some of their performances so far. We've highlighted True to be a very strong team on macro coming out from the qualifiers, but in terms of the fights themselves, it's been a bit of a struggle. Rogers and the rest, I love the calls, especially with Granny Smith moving around different legends from Caustic before to Catalyst now, if I remember correctly. But let's watch this squad fly on by. DreamFire. Man, Elfish, you just came back in a team, a legacy team like DreamFire. They're also coming back into the lobby. Top 5, one of their best performances so far, and they're looking for more here.
Yeah, the old boys got to stick together, you know? We get to sort of roll in here and be like, yeah, back in my day. Back in my day, I was the best.
DreamFire.
That's right, exactly. And DreamFire, you know, back in my day, DreamFire were one of the best, and hopefully that'll continue today as well. I mean, top 5, you're right, and they haven't even had like one of those big sort of outstanding games just yet that we know that they can pull out when the circumstances line up for them. So kind of still keeping that one away, bubbling away under the surface, same as sort of Weibo Gaming, as Lace and I were talking about on the desk there.
It's gonna get sighting real quick here at Coastal Camp. Heroez using Trident to rotate towards the south side. They're under pressure though from DreamFire, who is taking the position above them. This will mean Lahim and the rest maybe just go around the rock, find the eastern side towards Echo HQ instead. Problematic though, Final Dream is there. Virtus.pro has also made their way in, and Heroez is the one who has to crawl their way towards the Harvester, especially Final Dream might see them coming here.
Don't know just yet if they've got the information. It doesn't seem like Final Dream are aware. They certainly don't have a sightline. I don't think they've actually seen them.
He's picking the Harvester though. He wants to go for it, and now they notice it's 7ed who actually sees it coming.
Yeah, that could have been awkward though. The timing definitely could have got the better of him. Luckily, spots Heroez out, and surely if you're Final Dream here, you just back away, especially considering VP's coming in from the other side as well. They are hunting for some points. VP desperate to do better than they have been over the first 3 weeks of competition, or first 3 rounds of competition. Has been neither here nor there today, really, it has to be said for VP so far, but better game 2 than game 1 if they continue to put those improvements together. Maybe there's still something to be said.
Yeah, from 0 points to 8 points real quick, at least Virtus.pro on the board. But exactly as you said, Final Dream wisely backing away from this fight. Echo HU getting pretty crowded, but Virtus.pro coming into this one, I do believe they have ring console information. Yes, they do. So they know they're gatekeeping both Final Dream and Heroez right now, here in this position by the cannon.
Patience of virtue. It's actually quite a tough rotate in for Heroez and for Final Dream. And look, to be fair, they could choose to go south, wrap back around, and come in from the more southern side, but then they're going to run into DreamFire anyway, and at least in the case of Heroez, they're aware of that possibility too. So it's sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're going to have to push through a team one way or the other.
If you notice, actually, I wanted to point out real quick, the Sentinel, for so many players right now, coming into APAC-South, it was popularized, I dare say, by really player K coming into week number 1, and then you bring Nutsu-Osama in, all these other squads willing to play snipers a lot, and it's very interesting because it's always been a rifle meta, if you notice here, Elfish, with the Havoc, with Hemlock especially, but that extra bit of burst damage, very good at poking and finding a way to actually push into a squad with perhaps a man advantage moving forward.
Yeah, it definitely has its place. I think you can really afford to have at least one player on a sniper. You probably wouldn't want much more than that. LGD, in the meanwhile, gonna see where they end up. They're already inside of the ring, so they wouldn't have necessarily had to have rotated like this, but they prefer to end themselves up in Barometer. Mingyue quite low. Looks to have gotten down to the ground okay, so it's all good. Decent rotation from LGD, all things considered, and they'll be hoping for the pull to come back in that direction toward Barometer.
Gotta agree with you. A little bit awkward to land at the bridge, but with KPG nearby, it's the best that they can do. It's such a safe game from LGD as much as they can. If you notice how they played that evac tower, they even smoked it, just realizing SWQ was within the orange right in front of them. Very much so fight adverse until they get into the right position that they want to call their home.
Yeah, the bridge is a playable position, but you often see it be a little difficult to kind of lock down until the zone shifts in a couple more steps, and it's not even going to come into play here. As we can see, it's gone hard south instead. So DreamFire, we've been talking about them a little bit today, more so than usual. Maybe they got something cooking up in the lab here for game 3 of the day. Zone's certainly favoring them.
Yeah, and look, also X and Y. This team has always been very sneaky at these fringe case rings. I've seen them sneak their way past the other side of Northpad to take a dub. Right now, their biggest threat is DreamFire, like you mentioned. But so many other squads are going to be in an awkward spot moving forward. Fruit Salad ready to watch for anyone coming in from Barometer. VK Gaming within that position too. And like we said a while ago, Virtus.pro, they want to collect that KP onto Final Dream themselves. DreamFire, though, just happy to stay here in Coastal Camp. They're going to have most of this spot for themselves for a long while here.
Very patient, really. I don't think that they need to be doing too much at all. VP's kind of having a look in their direction. Some chip shots getting tossed back and forth. BMZ on the receiving end of that, but you know, he's got 8 cells, 4 bats. He's happy enough. Although holding onto the Sentinel, but not going to be wasting any of the shields just yet. You have MXF pushing their way in the direction of DreamFire, and Barbecue's here now as well. Okay, all of a sudden it kind of pops off. They've taken a lot of damage on their rotate, by the way, from X and Y, so this could get very awkward indeed for Barbecue, who at the moment hiding inside of that smoke, but once that dissipates, then they're at the mercy of DreamFire.
Yeah. AR2, X and Y finding the first knock. And that's the thing, Barbecue parking their car in the garage of DreamFire. And now DreamFire and X and Y working together to evict this squad away from the fight. But XD taking too long within the fight. The IGL forgetting the call of X and Y to play into cover. And with that being said, X and Y left to a duo. Heroes on pounding onto their position. So much pressure onto YC and JR. They need to get back into cover, but DreamFire also chipping in with the damage. YC fighting for his life. He's been good within the league, but Heroes have the one with the advantage. Where is the push from Heroes though? Seems like BP also losing on now. Virtus.pro under pressure. 7Ed making them work for it. SaWeiQi desperately trying to survive here. Heroes actually eliminated on the other side, but this is Virtus.pro falling yet again. This time the final dream.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's just suddenly popped off like crazy. I mean, look, to be fair, the zone did pull in this direction, so there's probably that, but like, this southern side of the zone just fights all over the place. X and Y as well, it has to be said, you mentioned briefly, Heroes going out. That was a 2v3 that X and Y were able to win. So Heroes letting that one slip a little bit, won't be happy with that. We'll just highlight Guild on our screens for a moment there. Still surviving. Been a bit of a better game from them so far. And Weibo are still putting in work. It is Final Dream on the receiving end of that one. Papa, the last one standing. Weibo watching for that as he tries to escape out of Echo HQ.
I mean, you were asking for better games here, Elfish, and Weibo is providing it. 20 points on the board right now, and doing what Virtus.pro honestly failed to do. And I gotta ask you, what is up with Virtus.pro as X and Y get back with 3-0? They're in a good spot. They have the chance to win it out, but they still lose to sudden surprises like from Final Dream a while ago.
I mean, they just get collapsed upon by a couple of teams in that instance, isn't it? So it's not exactly the most defensible position around that gravity cannon. So the fact that they, you know, just have to deal with multiple teams becomes quite a problem in a position like that when they're not, you know, in a building or somewhere with hard cover. It's, again, a much more playable position once the zone shifts in, which is now going to be where Weibo get the benefit of that. But VP maybe just a little too early to what could have been a good position, but wasn't at the time.
It's been very heartbreaking to watch SaWeiQi struggle like this, especially the rest of his team. Fight really having a tough time finding that kind of form to help out Virtus.pro in those pinch situations. Guild, though, on the other hand, they've been caster cursed by Elfish, yes, but they're in a good position here. Grape Soda, though, different fights as they move in towards Barometer. Rolling Thunder now being set. SaWeiQi, they have cover, sure, they have fences, but with pressure from Loki, it's trying to force them to be flushed on out. Loki cracking those shields onto the Watson, but beyond that, Grape Soda can't get in there, as Barbecue also getting a respawn beacon going for them.
Grape Soda are going to try to push the issue. SaWeiQi with some decent chip damage. Loki going to lose his shields on the way in, but Grape Soda now on the roof, and the wingman comes out.
Damage, speed loader 2 in the clutches of that wingman. In any case, though, Grape Soda, take 2, why don't you? Back on the roof, this time, it's Loki. Still has a few smokes to work with. Also keeping an eye out there towards Bamboo, where KPG is at. But SaWeiQi, they're hugging themselves within this orange right now, singing Kumbaya. It's a campfire that Grape Soda wants to get into, but SaWeiQi is taking no visitors here.
Yeah, it's not a fight that you really want to overcommit to. Like, this isn't even inside of the next ring, so you don't need to necessarily be fighting over that position if there's another option. And, certainly for Grape Soda there is. They're going to be rotating back up to the north, and they'll be flying their way back into the zone instead. EVOS Predator might try to take a leaf out of that book, or perhaps should take a leaf out of that book. It's been pretty rough going for them so far, and having to now fight on the outskirts of the map still would be awkward.
Yeah.
Kills on to Guild Esports again, though, from X and Y, who continue to ramp up the pressure on the lobby.
And effectively, this is really good for X and Y. They're the only team within the top 7 that has also played 3 sets alongside Guild, as NoCredit's gonna get eliminated there by Grape Soda. And this is their chance to make up some very much so needed placement points, as well as series points, actually, within that leaderboard, and put themselves in a better spot away from the borderline. Final Dream gonna get eliminated too. I do believe that's DreamFire finishing off the job there. SaWeiQi, now they're forced out and gonna run into KPG. True also gonna be nearby. KPG can't even get into the ring. Here comes Fruit Salad, though. Push comes to shove versus EVOS Predator. It's 2v2 for now as Grape Soda's gonna get eliminated. Bayuler hits a good shot, and Fruit Salad searching for a final target. They find it onto EVOS Predator, and they will take the dub there.
That'll be given plenty of time for the revive there as well. LGD coming in from the north. A little bit too late to really cause much of a problem over there. And honestly, they've got bigger issues with SWQ at their back as well. Everyone on this northern side will have a pretty rough run in of things. Although Weibo Gaming not in a bad spot to play with. They're fairly healthy. They would argue hold the strongest of the positions on the northern side.
I need it.
And they're just waiting for teams to push into their loving arms, their wonderful embrace. 24 points today for Weibo. They are keeping that scoreboard ticking along nicely, and obviously with this Kraber in hand as well, there's an opportunity for quite a bit more damage to come through.
I don't know if that's screen shake or just someone messing with his mouse pad. Do you see that from Peacock? Oh wait, yeah, I mean, Gugu is a controller player, but in any case, Weibo, you said it there, Elfish. They're effectively in such a good spot here to stay away from the mess that is Coastal Camp right now. They have all the space in the world to push towards the north. They're free here to try and hit some nasty shots with the Kraber. Peacock here, just pestering the Bloodhound on the opposite end. I do believe they're shooting at PK Gaming there. LGD can get eliminated by SWQ. And right now, it's really SWQ who can be the ones to circumvent the Weibo position. Keep an eye out on that northern fight. Well, let's see Fruit Salad and PK Gaming just try and disengage from one another here.
And they're both kind of copping shots from Weibo Gaming, who, as you highlighted, are going to have some more issues now, actually. It's SWQ that are pushing in the direction of Weibo. They're making a fairly late push. The zone's going to be at their back. It's moving pretty quickly. This is the fast side of the zone. SWQ have to continue to push their way up the hill here, but now Weibo have fully turned their attention in that direction. VK in the meanwhile was eliminated by Fruit Salad, and that will mean SWQ are the meat in the sandwich, which is never really a fun place to be.
And the other side of that sandwich isn't bread, it's Fruit Salad. Scholar now cracking those shields. A chance to actually go for the push, but you said a while ago, Weibo now focusing their attention towards the western front. And exactly what's happening. Fruit Salad, they can't overcommit onto SWQ because Weibo will be there to punish them. Here we go now. Jackie Chan, the Motherlode gonna get used on up. Peacock though finding Bayuler, and Weibo will now take the fight to all these other squads. Here we go with Peacock again, eviscerating, eradicating SWQ, but we're not done with the Weibo experience. Next on the list will be Fruit Salad. 2 squads to their hand. Weibo too good there.
Yeah, Weibo, they're pulling out that game that we had hoped from them for a while. 33 points now on the lobby, sitting in first place. They've been able to overtake VK Gaming. It's been a little while coming, it's felt like. And Weibo Gaming, given the time to reset as well, they have plenty more that they can bring to the table for this particular round. 14 players still alive. There's a lot more points on offer. This could be a huge one for Weibo if they keep this hype train rolling. Got the weapons to do it.
Keep an eye on threat assessment here. X and Y have realized something is happening on the north side of this ring, and they don't like it. Weibo and X and Y, big names ready to fight here. Some of the titans really in clashing in the 3v3. Here we go now with the Motherlode, and with it, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Peacock though, keeping the pressure going. X and Y can't handle Weibo at all, and we are left to 4 now.
Yeah, and again, another excellently taken fight from Weibo. There's no third party to come. Everyone else hard on the southern side of the zone. So Weibo, they are taking their fights so confidently. Now up to 37 points. DreamFire, who were kind of the talk of the town at the start of this round, have obviously played a little bit slower. They've been given a zone feed, but Weibo are the ones farming all of those points, and they're going to be the big winners out of this game. I don't know, the way Weibo are working their way through a few teams at the moment, I'm feeling like they just get a dub right here. They're just fragging so well.
This is one of those games where you finally say, Weibo, are they back? And especially the fact that effectively they're gonna see such a big scuffle here in Coastal. You said a while ago, DreamFire playing a slower game, really good position within the top 3 now in terms of the standings, but Weibo Gaming, this is what we saw last split. This is how they started running away with these kind of games.
Yeah, MXF as well have been keeping their heads down this game. Slowly but surely getting those placement points on offer. Barbecue doing much the same thing. For mine, it's DreamFire versus Weibo. Try to close this one out. Zone still yet to shift. 30 seconds before that really starts to get on the move. And that'll be where DreamFire really have to try to flex their muscles a little bit, right? They're going to be pushed off of this high ground. They're going to have to be made to work. It's been a pretty cool, calm, and collected game from them so far, but inevitably, you're going to have to make something happen. And unfortunately for DreamFire, they are on the more busy side of the zone, where Weibo at least have been given a little bit more room to breathe. I mean, they're actually quite central even.
Weibo have all the space in the world to work with. Interesting enough, in the roster of DreamFire, I Hate the World or No Name used to be part of that Wonton Dumpling squad. So really, a bit of the past here for DreamFire, a bit of the present, of course, with Weibo Gaming. But we still got other contenders, and Barbecue are the first ones to get cooked. PT finds Ronan there. That means Barbecue's left to one less. And from this point on, DreamFire still the tower taken for the elevation, and they're just watching, waiting to see what Weibo's movement will be.
Barbecue going to go down. They were stuck between a rock and a hard place, had to move out into the zone to get back in. And obviously that's a freebie for DreamFire, but that is perhaps the easiest of hurdles that they're going to have to get over in this final stage. Now down to the last three. And MXF and Weibo once again find themselves inside the top three. Those two teams have been putting together some pretty consistent games thus far. I'm waiting to see if MXF can kind of get any revenge for what happened to them a little bit earlier on. A chance to take some points off of Weibo now.
But they're exposed here with the mother load. It's spreading so much, so immensely. Big information here for Weibo Gaming, and MXF struggling to get on out. They use the Rolling Thunder to try and provide a bit of cover, but they're just completely exposed in those intentions. DreamFire as well as Weibo, nothing will stop these two squads from facing off against one another. And here we go now with Gugu and the rest. Pika tried to find that angle, MXF eliminated, but Weibo Gaming is unstoppable here, and they will take the third map of the set.
Yeah, they were never going to be denied, were they? They just utterly dominated from start to finish. What a phenomenal game from Weibo.
What a game for Weibo Gaming. And Lace, come on! This is what we saw from last split. That's a defending champion performance, if I dare say so.
Are our steamrolling land warlords back, Dax? That was absolutely incredible. You know, they had such a great spot, I guess, collecting those kills from SWQ and Fruit Salad on the top of the hill at Coastal Camp, and it allowed them to have so much space to sort of take like a 3v3 without the likes of DreamFire and MXF sort of peeking on into that. And I just feel like they deserve this. You know, this is something that we've seen from this team before. They've had such a struggling start, you know, to our split, but this is exactly how we know this team can play.
It is insane. Lace, 17 kills on the board for Weibo Gaming there. 12 placement points. That's almost 30 to boost themselves up all the way to the top spot. DreamFire also very notable right now, having a really good performance. I said it in the first map there, Lace. Are we gonna see the resurgence of the Chinese teams today, especially the big highlights there? DreamFire, Weibo, looks like they're doing it right here.
Yeah, DreamFire, you know, they had nice little quick rotate from Pylon to Coastal Camp. And, you know, they were kind of the king of the castles for quite a long time. A little bit surprised they didn't manage to get as many kills as, you know, a lot of teams were sort of rotating in. They had Heroez sort of waiting on the outskirts there. Heroez, unfortunately, you know, made a bit of a incorrect choice moving over to Echo HQ, and the, you know, the zone obviously pulled Coastal Camp, and they had to go into the likes of X and Y. But yeah, surprised DreamFire didn't get as many kills from that position, but still, you know, taking out, you know, Barbecue and stuff along the way is something huge from them as well.
Elfish pointed a while ago, it was because DreamFire really slowed things down on their front, and you can understand why. Taking that tower spot is effectively gut spot for how long within the ring. The only weakness would be the complete northern side that has been unattended except by Weibo Gaming. And Weibo Gaming, they fought tooth and nail for that one. 17 kills, but look at Gugu go. It is just insane to think a player of his caliber is just keeping the performance going, and right now boosting Weibo up to the highest of heavens. 9 kills, 2.4k damage with 17 in total for Weibo.
Who had the hands of the Devo? That thing is absolutely insane. Taking down 2 players in one clip, you know, that's something that you definitely want to have in your backpack. But that is such a huge game from them. You know, they were sort of neck and neck a little bit with DreamFire, but this has just pushed them so far ahead of them now. You know, if they can keep up this, you know, we know that this is a team, once they get going, they can sometimes never be stopped. So, you know, is this the day where they actually win? It's going to be so exciting to see it unfold, Dax.
This is the day that they are looking to make it happen. 48 on the board as we move into World's Edge. DreamFire, though, great showing through with 36. VK still within the top 3, and look at them go. 3 teams from effectively China, right? Within the top spots. Barbecue also, X and Y. There's a big resurgence right now here in APAC-South.
Yeah, and like it's so good to see, I guess, you know, even NoCredit sort of move up on in, even LGD Gaming showing us what they're made of today as well. You know, still not a great, I guess, performance from Virtus.pro. Unsure, you know, what really sort of got them down in that game. I know that they had to have a little bit of a tango with NoCredit, so that's something that's a little bit difficult for them. But Guild Esports not showing us exactly what they're known for in that match.
Yeah, there's just so much chaos right now for a team formerly known as Serenity, and it has been such a interesting predicament for Guild Esports. We see how they play their usual game plan of going for these kind of rotates, playing a little bit longer on the outskirts and finding opportunities and picking them well. But what has happened so far here, Lace, they've been found, they've been run into, and they're ill-prepared compared to usual, just because that these squads are more of those edge teams that are juggernauts that are running into better shields, better armor, and better equipment that Guild can't handle.
Yeah, like these sort of teams are sort of finding their positions early and just absolutely obliterating these teams that, you know, if like taking a clean 3v3 could win, but there's just too much chaos going into those final zones. You know, there's still high hopes for Guild Esports. Maybe just one game didn't go their way, but I definitely know that moving over to World's Edge, we could definitely see a little bit more from them. And as we do that, we're going to take ourselves a short little break for now, and we will see you back in a moment. Welcome back, Apex Legends, and thank you for joining us once again here at APAC-South Pro League, where Weibo took out a gigantic win with 17 kills, moving them to first place. We've just sort of finished off our Storm Point matches for Groups B versus C, and we're going to flip the switch and head over to World's Edge. It's been extremely exciting, though, as we've had, teams that you might have heard of, like Elfish likes to say, back in the day, DreamFire, they're sitting in second place. It's awesome to see these teams just skyrocket to the top, Dax. And obviously, we're heading over to World's Edge, so we're going to see, hopefully, some other teams sort of make their way up to the top.
First things first, though, I love that we're pushing Elfish to be the old man of APAC-South now. I guess this is what happens when he's busy. He's busy traveling APAC-South, guys. Come on. Elfish is like a world traveler here, and it's really great to see him back. But you just mentioned it. Weibo, 29 points, puts them in the top spot. But coming into World's Edge, it has been switched up with how we actually do the maps. And most interesting enough, the first pick still goes to SaWeiQi, and it's Fruit Salad, prioritizing that over any other POI as of usual.
Yeah, and I'm just going to skip ahead here, Dax, and my favorite Grape soda getting into the Siphon East. We've seen such a great start from them last week when we were on World's Edge. So I do know that, this is, I guess, a favorite map for them. Hopefully, I know that they perform extremely well on here, so this could be something where, they're in 10th place. They can move on up again in front of everybody. It's just going to be so exciting to see them sort of make their way out of there. But then again, Weibo, I'm sitting there at stacks. They're going to obviously potentially cross paths. It could be, I guess, a little bit scary for Grape Soda, but I'm just so keen to see how this unfolds.
No, this is a story though, Lace. Remember from last week, Grape Fanta daring to contest Makers there on Siphon and winning every single contest.
Yes.
Now the rest of the region has to respect that. You'd expect Weibo to be willing to, okay, let's go Siphon 2. It's gonna be okay. No, they know Grape Fanta's gonna run something like Conduit Horizon and run at them. And wisely enough, I like Weibo's choice to go for stacks since Makers is in the lobby to begin with. Just stay away, but stay within the same proximity of their usual loot path moving forward into the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's really interesting you say. I guess Grape Soda are the ones that one of the only teams to really sort of choose Conduit moving over to this map. But as we saw them sort of play that, they were able to engage and absolutely obliterate all in their path. I remember there was a frag game where they just got to clean up everything and take that win. And it's definitely exciting to see, I guess, this sort of meta in and amongst all the Fuses, Bangalores, and Bloodhounds. They're changing a little bit. And as we're going to go straight into it, this is match number 4. We're on World's Edge.
Second half of this set, we're into World's Edge, and Lace is expecting some big things from Grape Soda moving forward. If you guys are tuning on in, it is Weibo Gaming at the very top with 48 points, absolutely commanding here, Elfish.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, I mean, at this point in time, I'm kind of expecting to see big things from Weibo, and I know that's a Captain Obvious hindsight of 2020, but what I will say, Old Man has been saying that since the start of the day. They were always a team that could pull this off, and they've been a little bit under the weather so far this split, but it's always bubbling away under the surface, and it's good to see them coming out with the goods today. And, the fact that it's kind of started so strong, you've got to imagine that that's going to be maintained over the course of the next 3 games or so. I should have a quick look here and see, are they playing 2 lobbies today? They are.
Yeah.
So, this could be a huge day from Weibo with the way things are going at the moment.
Yeah. Group B getting double duty today. You can see who has the ring consoles coming into this one. And most notably, Weibo Gaming over at Big Mod, since they can move there from stacks. Virtus.pro also taking Turbo Station away from DreamFire in previous iterations of this lobby, which means DreamFire lands back onto their classic countdown pick. I do have to say, though, with the ring pulling out towards north, we're going to get that Skyhook East action perhaps moving forward. Grape Soda, also Elfish. We were expecting a Conduit, but since no one is contesting them this time around, they can just run the standard Bloodhound with the Bangalore, but still with the Horizon in tow.
Yeah, more than happy to make it happen here. I do love the Skyhawk circles when we get there. It's always a pretty hectic endgame, right? Because there's a lot of buildings that you can hole up in. There's lots of cover. Generally fit quite a lot of teams into that POI, which makes for a bit of a slower early game, to be fair, a lot of the time. Apart from, maybe some chip damage here and there, but certainly when we get to those late game zones, it's a little bit messy, and that's always quite fun. Yep. DreamFire, you've been looking at them with 36 points and thinking, damn, they're having a pretty good day, but sort of pales in comparison to 48 that Weibo have put up. But do be like that sometimes.
I mean, what can we say about last split, right? Weibo outshined DreamFire and the rest. And right now, DreamFire is just trying to get back in a place that they can try and reestablish their pedigree, I dare say. Okay, Fussy, you don't need to do cage like that. KPG will lose one early. And Grape Soda, very much so willing to bully anyone on the south side. If no one will contest them there on Siphon, they're gonna push into something like 3 to try and find a pick. Guild, though, really awful here so far in terms of their performance. It's heartbreaking to see Buki and the rest struggle like this, but the struggles continue with VK finding one on them.
Yeah, most definitely. It's another rough start for Guild, and I don't know, man. They're on 1 point for the day so far.
What's happened?
Not really looking like that's going to improve here on game number 4 either. If they're down to a duo this early on, what's happened? I don't know. I mean, yeah, is it just the org nerf, right? You get an org, you get picked up, and all of a sudden things just go haywire. I'm at a loss.
It makes me very sad to see, and we have performances like this blow up in teams' faces. If you remember from last split, X and Y most notably, they had a day with double duty. The first set, they had 0 points, and then the second one, they were in second place. But it cost them because 2 points away from making it to LAN. It's going to be very difficult for Guild if they don't find a bounce back performance sooner or later. Well, Grape Soda and the rest running on in. Yeah, Skyhook getting filled by a bunch of teams already as per usual. Fruit Salad, remarkable team, NoCredit, MXF, zone teams we've seen so far. They're in position, and that is big as remarkable team is picking apart Fruit Salad from above.
It is quite prudent oftentimes to be one of the first teams to rotate into Skyhook, because once you're in and once you're set in a building, it's not likely that you're going to be able to change your position, right? Yeah. About so many teams get in there. Speaking of which, remarkable team, they're going to continue to push the issue. That was so clean! What a knock to start the engagement. And I know that Fruit Salad are going to be getting away with this one. Remarkable team. You know, they've been a bit up and down today, but that's definitely a good way to start match number 4.
And they always do better on World's Edge from what we've seen so far. Some of their highest games, highest highs as a team have been on this map, especially that first victory in their first game within their set. Also, most notably, that Caustic is so pesky still from remarkable team. Very different from everyone else. Barbecue, on the other hand, control towards the northern training tunnels. EVOS Predator is knocking on their doorstep here.
Barbecue taking it slow. Can say in the meanwhile, Guild did get a respawn beacon, but Yugi's been knocked straight away after coming back into the game. So it goes from bad to worse really for Guild at this point in time. X and Y, the team that are trying to chase him down. There's another freebie for them. So Yugi at this point is kind of just a punching bag. He's just a walking free point for a lot of teams here on World's Edge.
Yo, sometimes Apex is just like that. You said, okay guys, I got down early, you have to leave me. Don't worry, you got my banner, we can go again. You put your hands back on the keyboard, and then you just have to put them away because another squad has just jumped on your respawn.
Look, in saying that, Countdown's a pretty ambitious place to go for a respawn, I will say, when it's like right next to where the next ring is going to pull. There's probably going to be a few teams rotating in through there, so Guild, it might not have been the wisest of choices to be going for the respawn there, and they do get punished for it. Obviously still keeping themselves as a duo. To be honest, they can get Bugi's banner again, so they might be able to get another res, which is quite late in the game. Yeah.
Let the man play, please. I'd love to see what Bugi and the rest can do. I've also noticed Barbecue actually taking the central Skyhook itself. Usually NoCredit wants to take that position, but not with a ring pull. Headed a little bit more to the east per usual. EVOS Predator, though, on the other hand, over at Survey Camp, BK Gaming sees them, gets shot by them, and Fafa, Fifth, and the rest. Gobgaps catching on Contender, and EVOS Predator, distance is their friend. That's perfect for them to start off the action here.
Yeah, those were some clean shots with the triple take. EVOS Predator kind of need every point that they can get at the moment, so they'll definitely be taking that. Running with it as far as they possibly can. Skyhook is starting to get pretty busy now as well, just taking a quick look at the map there, and at this point in time, anyone that's coming in late might have a bit more of a difficult time. There's another respawn from Guild. Second of the game, and this one should be uncontested. They should at least get Bugi back in for, you know, a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more success from them, but since we've seen this ring pull more and more to the east, it's actually heading outside of Skyhook. Not too surprising, honestly, with the amount of zone is still within the trade traps themselves. X and Y, though, They don't have the memo, they don't have the info, and they're running into Skyhook. It's gonna be very messy sooner or later here, Elfish. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 squads who will come out of Skyhook bare minimum to meet each other in one single funnel later on.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more room for another couple. Like, there's a couple of unclaimed buildings. Wow, the damage onto the respawn there. I think it might have been NoCredit that were the one that pulled that respawn. Either way, there's a couple pop off around the map. We just saw VK Gaming looking for one as well. So a few teams under the weather. There's a lot of space to work with for a lot of these revives coming on through. There's still quite a few teams outside of the zone that are going to have to move their way in, but plenty of time to do that. Still early days here on World's Edge. VP didn't manage to improve upon their position in that last game. Still sitting on 8 points. Need a big game here to really get themselves back up to having any kind of a discussion for this lobby. It's just, again, kind of been same old from VP.
Oh. They run into DreamFire there. Virtus.pro have ring console information, and when now DreamFire seeing a team rotate this way, they might be wondering, okay, is our position god spot effectively? I think they have what they call Grandma's house. They have a good spot though, even with the blues, without that console info. And they're hounding Virtus.pro for now, trying to see what's going on. KPG taking a lot of damage along the way. And the EVOS Predator, that is just a beauty from Mr. Osama. What a snipe, what a shot. KPG gets eliminated. But check things out up top there, Elfish. It's Weibo at the very top with the kill leaders there.
Well, no surprises at all. They put, what was it, like 17 in one game. So that's probably more than most teams have gotten over their
13.
first 3. 13.
Crazy.
There you go. So, P-God, Gugu doing himself, you know, a bunch of favors. And to be fair, DreamFire are kind of plugging away there as well. They were, what, 3, 4, and 6? So,
yeah,
they're also kind of having a bit of a day. So, return to form for those two teams who kind of left it to the last minute, it has to be said, right? Like, we're about halfway through the split, maybe a little bit more than that. And if you're not getting it done now, then you're probably not going to get the chance to get it done. But working hard here to get themselves a place in that final lobby. And once you get into the final lobby, you know, anything can happen. So, happy with that as far as those two are concerned. And listen, why? They've also been quite a consistent team today. Also found themselves inside of Skyhook. So, they're going to take a fight, which is an interesting one to go for. It's against Guild Esports, and Guild have been kind of cannon fodder today. So, maybe not a bad shout from X and Y.
Pain continues, and X and Y is farming Guild by this point. Did you see that hit and run from YC? Swoop in, get a knock, get out, and let someone else do the same thing. That is just X and Y doing Guild dirty there.
It's just not coming together at all for Guild. I think that's another 0-point game from them, which will keep them on 1 point for the day. 4 games deep, you've only got 1 point. I don't really know what to say about that one. But that is an interesting zone shift that most teams may not have been prepared for, but you called it right for DreamFire, and hopefully they've called it right as well, that they see teams rotating in their direction. They don't have to move. They're going to be rewarded for that as well. So, would be a big finish here for DreamFire. It could be for Weibo as well, who are on a pretty quiet side of the map, although pushing their way up the hill out of the epicenter into this final zone might not be the easiest of tasks, and we'll hold that thought for the moment because Grape Soda are farming barbecue so clean.
What a call from Loki and the rest, and that's the beauty of having also Fussy there on the horizon. The gravity lift for extra bit of elevation. Barbecue ill-prepared for it. And I do want to say, Grape Soda, Lace especially expecting them to pop off here every single time we get into our first World's Edge game in a set here, Elfish. Grape Soda have had monstrous games. They have been the intro boys, effectively, of this map. They've always had strong starts, and I'd love to see if they can continue that trend and put themselves on the board big time here.
We're keeping an eye on that for sure. It's an awkward spot to be in, though. Trying to work your way out of Skyhook this late in the game. So many teams that kind of gambled on a Skyhook zone, and so it's a very busy side of the circle. VP down to 2, having lost Sharky, but they've got a Kraber. Going to keep their heads down for the moment, but I don't know how you hold this choke point as a duo, especially when so many teams are trying to come out of Skyhook. Like, surely this is you just have to give it up. You have to concede.
Virtus.pro can't stay here. Pricey already knocked on down to no shields. Way also in cover. It's so difficult for VP to make these calls without Sharky. Within the fight itself, True though having their own kind of actions versus X and Y, who just barrels down on them, but Vixaria has brought in the pain. It's good for True so far. They see the final target across. Granny Smith is on the lifeline, the only one into the lobby, but X and Y, that's XD gone, and X and Y eliminated there.
Yeah, tough rotation to be fair for X and Y, but still getting a bit of work done in this game, so keeping that scoreboard ticking over should hold them quite nicely inside of the top 4 or 5 overall. Should we lose a player off of that? They need to put in a bit more work down south. It's quite quiet though, has to be said. DreamFire, the team to beat at the moment. They're looking to get aggressive as well, so we'll keep things in check for them. Luckily, or happily even, AP have moved on from their choke point, so they don't necessarily have to worry about all the teams coming out of Skyhook now.
And the ring just loves DreamFire. Perfectly placed, still with the compound that they have. And not only that, they're just trying to search for any kind of targets on the True front. You said it, 2 members left for True. DreamFire looking for that pick. Elsewhere though, Grape, Soda, and the rest, it's gonna get very messy soon. The part that we all love the best from Skyhook. Now, gravity lift from Loki, or rather from Fussy, to actually go for the push, but Collapse, he's gotten caught there by Lux. Grape Soda thought they had the escape plan, but they already lose one along the way. They have to go for the revive here.
Be able to get it. Arcstar in the mix, but he looked to be okay for the moment, having to dodge back and forth. VP going back over to them. Have rejoined the fray. They were down underneath the bridge for a moment. Now they've gone back to the choke point. They, you know, maybe they're recognizing like we need to get some kill points out of this, and even if we can sort of play a little bit cheeky and push away from the fights, but still kind of throw a couple of shots in, that could go a long way. Speaking of, Way was very low, so again VP will just back off, slow things down. Doing a good job of jostling for positioning. Grape Soda eliminated in 13th at the hands of LGD. Remarkable out in 12th, and there will be SWQ also dropping, so it is really starting to pop off. Those teams pushing their way out of Skyhook are really having problems. LGD is now one of them. They were perhaps on the better end of things for the most part, but now it's really starting to get hard. They do get past Heroes, still got to get past VP.
And how many are gone in a blink of an eye? No, 5 squads eradicated there. We're left to 7. Also, just want to point out, NoCredit somehow got in with their Bloodhound, still got caught there at the tail end, and LGD, the ones who come out of the Chaos Strong. Virtus.pro now going to get eliminated too. There's no way for them to hold that position as a duo. We're left to 6. DreamFire racking up the points. Weibo now getting into the thick of things, and they're looking to take the fight towards EVOS Predator here.
Back and forth, but Weibo, they've been quiet so far this map. And I'm really waiting to see if they can accelerate once again in the late stages. It's not going to be quite as big of a game as the previous one, but win's a win. It will elevate them kind of out of reach, I'd say, of most teams if they can get a back-to-back dub. Which they do stand a chance of getting. To be fair, though, the feed keeps going in on top of DreamFire. Very sort of reminiscent of that last game where Weibo are playing Edge, DreamFire are playing Zone, and Weibo, they're not shying away from the fights at all. Just have a look at that. Speak the name and he shall appear. Peak God, that was a pretty crazy peak, just sliding down the hill and farming. There's another one for Weibo, another team out of the picture. EVOS Predator, not even a threat in that circumstance.
Absolutely, they've just been destroyed along the way. Perfect push there from the likes of Weibo. Want to keep their top spot, but DreamFire are making a good case too. 7 kills already for No Name. And DreamFire wants to put this under their belt if they can. Hika though, still going on. That's No Name knock on down. LGD also catching out BK, and now it's all about converging onto that one building. DreamFire, they're under pressure on the inside. LGD seeing this one coming. QQ's there along the way trying to cosplay as a DreamFire member, but while this happens, it's Weibo Gaming with advantage again. Chaos into the household one more time. Phage with the rest, go for the push. LGD knocking down DreamFire here. 3MC gonna be gone. BK eliminated, sure, but LGD, watch your backs because Weibo's there.
Yeah, Pete's still hanging around as well, so you kind of got to keep him in check too. Weibo not going to overcommit to the fight. They'll take things nice and slow. They're aware that there's still going to be 2 teams somewhere around that building, so they don't want to overstep, give up a knock. More than happy, set up, take zone control.
Weibo, it's been so smart, really, for Weibo Gaming, as we've seen so far. Great decisions to play these edge kind of fights. Pick the battles that isolate the other squad. And with this, LGD, they do get the reset. Pita here. Solo left. At least he has the pylon for company. But effectively, Weibo, they have the middle of the ring, and LGD will be the ones who have to run into them moving forward.
Yeah, Mingyue, a little bit of a look around. If you can find an angle, or maybe even just get some information, right? Because at this point, it's kind of hard for LGD to get info as to even where Weibo are set up. Triple reds for LGD. It gives them a lot of room to work, gives them a bit of leeway. Chip damage is good though from Weibo. Every time someone from LGD pops their head up, taking a lot of damage. Obviously there's some chip damage coming through from Fuse as well.
Here we have it. The Sky load into play. Shoot it up, get that intel. And Weibo Gaming seeing LGD on the other fronts. Just poetic. Both of these teams getting picked up like big Chinese orgs before the start of the splits. And with LGD now looking to take the fight versus Weibo Gaming. Shades of MDY White versus Wonton Dumpling. It's happening here. Peak God though still in control. It's Bobo who's able to finish off Feiju. Mingyue gonna fall too. And Weibo knows it's easy pickings now. All they need to do is clean up the rest. DreamFire gone. Weibo will take it. It's Weibo Gaming with the back-to-back.
Yeah, back-to-back, easy as you like from Weibo Gaming, but you have to give a shout-out to Pete for, once again, being able to get those extra points on the board for DreamFire. They take the second. And honestly, LGD, a good effort in the end, but Weibo seems like they just cannot be stopped at the moment.
Having a little bit of deja vu from our Storm Point match. Weibo are just being able to take so much space while, you know, teams are sort of just making their way and sitting there pretty in the building and just being able to just watch everything unfold and clean up so much KP along the way. There's just no stopping them at this point. We've seen this, you know, in the previous split. Once they get things amped up and running, they are just incredibly hard to sort of take down. You know, they were sitting at 48th. In first place coming out of game number 3 and now match number 4. They're definitely going to be far in front.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, look, to be fair, it wasn't quite as impressive there from Weibo as match number 3 was, but look, it's kind of going to be hard to beat a 29-point game. They ended up with 9 kills in that first place, so it would be 21 points on the board on top of that one from Weibo, and they had a pretty good game 1. They really have only gone missing over today in game number 2, which even there they were getting some sort of points on the board, just some sort of picking over 5 points. I love that peak there, by the way. It was just so clean, sliding down the hill. The tracking was so good, and LGD, they do end up getting as much out of that one as they possibly could, but it was always going to be wishful thinking when you're going up against Weibo in the 3v3. Pete kind of becoming a bit of a non-factor in the end. And Weibo, and back to back. I wonder if they can find the hat trick. They're certainly playing well enough at the moment to be able to do it.
Yeah, and, you know, LGD had such a great game as well. You know, Grape Soda was making like a wild push to barbecue from height, and then, you know, them then having to move into NoCredit and LGD, but LGD came out on top, sort of making their way from building into zone. So that was, you know, a huge game from them as well. As you can see, they got 13 kills, and most of that was from coming out of, you know, Skyhawk. So that is a great feat for them to be able to even make that rotate out of that chaos. So I guess, again, Weibo taking first place, and this is huge for them. As we see, yeah, wasn't 17 kills, Elfish, from their Storm Point game, but still an exceptional feat from them.
Yeah, but man, what is going on with Guild? Another 0-point game from them, and just missing out time and time again. Yeah, they lost Bugi pretty early on that game, but got him revived twice and still weren't able to get anything from that game. So they sit down there on the single 1 point. Only other team that hasn't managed to make it to double digits is Akuma. 69 for Weibo. They are ramping up for a pretty massive day. This could honestly end up being a 100+ point day for, or not even day, let's just say lobby, because they still have another lobby yet to play today as well, Weibo. So it's every opportunity to maybe even go triple digits in the first lobby and then take that momentum into the second lobby.
Yeah, you're so right. We still have another 2 games for them to be able to get that sort of points. Again, hoping Grape Soda can sort of move their way on up. This is definitely their map to play with. They did get a little bit caught out, as I said, trying to make that rotate in. But, you know, this is something where they can shine and moving on up the leaderboard as well. So it could be a couple of huge games from them. But honestly, I don't think there's much to catch Weibo. DreamFire are doing exceptionally well. You know, they weren't getting those first, second spots, but just seeing them to be able to come together, you know, during this week has been awesome to see from them as well, sitting at 51 points currently. It's just awesome to have, you know, such an exceptional team like DreamFire come back. But we're going to take ourselves another little short break, Elfish. So we will see you back shortly for game number 5.
tricked you. Whew. Glad I got that off my chest.
Tell Death I said hello.
I will, Fanta.
Welcome back, everyone. We've had Weibo Gaming win back to back. Can they make it 3 in a row, Elfish, and potentially get themselves a bonus series points? They're currently sitting 25th on our series leaderboard, so today is a very big day for them.
Yeah, I want to say that they can do it because, look, the games that they've won haven't been easy wins, you know? Sometimes you look at a team and go, well, they kind of got pretty fed there. They didn't really have to work very hard for it, but neither of these games have been a real hard feed at all for Weibo. Particularly Game 3, they were just farming their way through the edge of the zone, and sort of the same can be said there on World's Edge. It was a bit of a quieter side of the zone there for them in match number 4, but once they kind of got the ball rolling in that end game, it didn't really look like that they were going to be beaten by anyone. So overall, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, why not? Let's have a hat trick.
Yeah, and you know, when they were called Wonton Dumpling, they were very much edge hunters. So they're sort of bringing back that strat into these games today, which seems to be, I guess, working for them today. So it's just awesome to see them be able to get back into that great flow that we know that they've had. But again, let's touch on DreamFire, Elfish. You know, we've been making jokes about back in my day, they used to be the best, but let's have a look at them today and see exactly where they are.
Yeah, they've been on the rise a little. 8th, 7th, not too bad, not too shabby, but it was the 2nd and the 3rd that they put together on maps 3 and 4. It's been sort of in line with the rise of Weibo throughout this lobby as well, although Weibo have been, I guess, the bride, and DreamFire have been, unfortunately, the bridesmaid in this sense. They have not quite managed to get it over the line, but if they keep themselves in those kinds of positions that they've been finding, they have been getting some good feeds. Inevitably, it's going to come together, and it's just a matter of time. So, positive signs for DreamFire as well.
Yeah, no, they've been putting out immense damage as well. I'm just having a quick look at their stats. You know, they're doing huge things. We've even got like over 7,000 for IHTW, and that's just absolutely insane from them. They are really, really coming together as a team. You know, still a fair few points away from Weibo, but if DreamFire can get themselves a win, they're going to be a little bit toe-to-toe with Weibo, but again, they are just out in front. Let's take it away to game number 5 and see exactly how our teams perform.
Yeah, two games to go. The penultimate, obviously, going to be World's Edge, and then we'll finish there as well. And if we continue that discussion for DreamFire, obviously, they also have 2 lobbies to play today. Same can be said, obviously, about Weibo. So, big opportunity for them to kind of have a back-to-back huge lobby and get really back into the middle of the pack, maybe even top middle of the pack over in the overall leaderboard, which is exactly where you'd sort of expect these 2 teams to be.
Yeah, gotta agree with you. This is a perfect chance for Group B as a whole to really rally right now, and especially DreamFire, who's really showing up today. Great to see them finding that performance. Weibo also. It's just Elfish. These games are a lot quicker than usual when Weibo is as good as this. But here we go. Ring pulling on in now. Looking to touch towards the tree, but there's a chance this can pull Harvester, yes, but I want to see if this will actually give some love towards VP and that thermal station area instead.
Yeah, maybe. I guess VP kind of needs it at this point in time. Like, thermal station, definitely a solid drop location, so sort of coming together for VP in this game so far, but they've got to, they've got to do better, right? They do.
Yeah.
They're such a talented squad, right? And the names there, you'd expect to see a bit of a better result than what we're being given today, but hasn't really happened. And look, in saying that, a couple of good games to finish. Definitely change our tune. Got to prove us wrong. And same could probably be said for Guild. I definitely be keeping an eye on them. Again, they dropped in Harvester. So they're inside of the zone. They've actually got the information on where that next ring pool is going to be as well. So they're another team, like, actually perfect opportunity really for both Guild and for VP to turn their day around.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Guild actually having the right call with the ring here. Just the fact that it touches the very south of that first ring to begin with. Guild Esports taking out the train tracks and looking to push even further. It's been a struggle, honestly, for the powerhouse Australian teams that we have in this matchup specifically. But an evac tower to get elevation, and Guild is going to be camping here for days for quite a while already.
Yep. Looking like they're going to set themselves up nicely. But I don't know, sometimes you can rotate a little too soon, get low on resources when the fights actually do ensue, and so it can be a bit of a blessing and a curse. You have to be pretty aware of how you're working with those resources. I mean, I'm looking at Yugi, and he's only got 28 reloadable in the Hemlock, so it's not a whole lot to play with, and he's churning through it already with a couple of shots at SaWeiQi, who are rotating their way in, and so I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how this one plays out for Guild, but at least for them, they're in a position that is favorable enough. Same for SaWeiQi, but kind of just underneath Guild at this point.
Yeah, I feel you, because look how short their loot path is. They start Harvester, they look around there at one big building, and they're like, okay, time to go towards the zone. And what do they bring besides a bit of blue armor and a bit of scraps, really, that they had from their initial POI? Yes, there's a lot of stuff to get from Harvester, but it's so different when you have teams looking to play from the outside. Weibo Gaming is taking their sweet time right now over at Stacks and Big Mod. You see VK Gaming. They also came in from the north. They spot that remarkable team who's taken Harvester away. And as it stands, position again so important here, Elfish. KPG have taken some of the buildings. Final Dream taking tree away from KPG. Grape Soda has the other compound there. And SaWeiQi right under the noses of Guild. These squads, I do dare say, more well-equipped. A golden Lombo. Rarely do you see a digi-threat online, but given that's the Valk squad, they know a remarkable team is moving away there.
DreamFire and X and Y having a bit of a look at one another here in staging. Two teams that have been very good so far today. X and Y not one to shy away from the fight, and DreamFire definitely the same. This would be a little bit too early for an engagement as far as either are concerned. Maybe X and Y have a different idea. YC was pushing his way forward, so he's kind of keen for this fight. Has popped Beast of the Hunt as well. Definitely very committed to it.
Eva Tower should be setting up the Skyload real quick. Gets intel now, exposing the intentions of DreamFire, who have a pylon on the inside. DF though, they move away from the push of X and Y. They're trying to wait out the Beast of the Hunt, looking to see if JR will get tripped up by those Watson's fences too. Really smart calls from DreamFire right now as X and Y is trying to push the limit. These doors will break, and here comes X and Y with contact. JR though, back into cover. X and Y hurting here, but they have gotten beat out. Eye the World, No Name 2 has been down, and it's 3MC versus the 2 left of X and Y here.
X and Y still suffering though, having to pop some bats. It's 3MZ. The other side of this coin has to get a reload on that Hemlock as well. It looks like DreamFire well and truly lost this engagement. I don't know if X and Y are going to hunt it too hard. We've got VK having a bit of a look in their direction as well. There is maybe a world where I Hate the World can creep over to 3MZ, and the revive actually is happening. It is occurring right now. There's been enough of a distraction made by VKG that DreamFire get away with 2 there, which is an absolute miracle, all things considered.
You said a while ago, X and Y just doesn't shy from the fight. I dare say both teams playing that really smartly, especially DreamFire just looking to make those ultimates go to waste, but X and Y, they're the ones who got caught there by VK. And in the end, it's X and Y who's hurting, left to a duo like DreamFire. So both squads taking a single casualty, while VK Gaming left there to pick up the spoils over at staging.
Yeah, true, getting some points on the board there, and Weibo are suffering. Maybe their chances of getting the hat-trick are severely in jeopardy. Down to 2, and one of them has just been revived. Who were the team that were hanging around.
There's so much action outside the ring. Akuma now looking to play into True, and as soon as the survey beacon is scanned, they're gonna realize that, oh, there's a squad so close by. You said it a while ago, Weibo Gaming, they've gotten the respawn, but it's only to a single player. They're still left as a duo. Weibo will struggle for the rest of the game, but still, True, Sentinel, quick little shot, doesn't find anyone here. They do realize Akuma lying in wait towards the north. They might look to avoid that kind of push if they want to rotate.
Doesn't look like too much is going to happen between True and Akuma. They've both gone in their separate directions. The issue will potentially come back for Weibo, but that's a discussion for another day, as Remarkable team are making their way into Thermal Station. It has been left open. VP were one of the first rotators out. Not interested in holding on to their drop location, and so you can backfill if you're a team like Remarkable, who's come in late Not going to be a winning position, but it's definitely a staging ground.
Come on, it's like, if you have the Valkyrie, it reminds me of when you go to an amusement park and you have a fast pass, basically. You'll effectively have more evac towers to utilize. You have that skyward dive when you want to rotate quicker, and no matter what, remarkable team. This squad can always just pick up the pieces of what anyone else has left behind. Speaking of that, X and Y got their third back, and they're looking to re-loot staging there, but Fruit Salad now, the ones stalking them from above, and Scholar and the rest hasn't been the best performance so far. Usually they love to play into the zone. Rarely do you see them play edge here, as Barbecue also get a respawn. So a lot of teams right now getting their trios backfilled, as you mentioned. Shot Lahim, come on, hit it! There you go. Cracks the armor, but that's all he'll get there.
Yeah, a couple going astray. Been something special. Can't really say I've ever had the luxury of having the fast pass at the amusement park, so...
It's expensive, man.
Can't relate. Yeah, it is. A lot of money. Anyways, Heroes kind of need a bit of a fast pass at the moment, because they've only got the 12 points on the board today, and they are obviously running out of chances to get any more done. It is the dying stages of this initial B and C lobby. We've only got 2 more games, including this one, to go. And that doesn't give you much time to bounce back up. Same can be said for VP. I had high hopes for them. I definitely had higher hopes for Guild and what they've been able to do today. And what does that do to the mental as well, knowing that they've got another lobby to play? If they only get like 1 point out of the very first lobby, that is something serious to come back from on the mental side.
I mean, yeah, sure, but you can just shake it off and say, okay, guys, complete reset, go into the next with a different mentality moving forward. I do have to say to you, Elfish, the secret technique in an amusement park is 2 words. Single rider. That's the lane you always want to line up for. It worked at Disneyland really well.
It's a low-key self-burn, though, because then it's like, well, no one actually wants to be my friend, so...
No, you go as a group on a single rider, and if you guys get lucky, then cool. You get the ride. If not, just try to beat each other, if especially it's one of those web-slinging games. But NoCredit, different kind of shooting game here. Still in position towards Thermal. They're on the outside, though, and being effectively watched here by both LGD and X and Y. Big threats in front of them. DreamFire on the other hand. Duo still here at Harvester, and EVOS Predator, the one keeping them away from the fight here.
This has, for all intents and purposes, been the calmest game so far. We've still got 20 squads alive as the next ring is going to pop. We're into round number 3. Don't imagine we're going to have 20 alive too much longer. EVOS Predator under the pump, but Weibo Gaming as well. Back-to-back winners. Certainly not going to be happening this time. They are being camped out of the zone right now by Akuma. They'll actually be the last team to inevitably rotate their way in. Everyone else has gotten into at least phase 2.
And by this point, how much is Akuma griefing Weibo here? Completely gate cap for so long. Barbecue also. This is pain. And you said it a while ago, 20 squads remaining this deep into the game. Someone's bound to die, but we've seen multiple times respawns happen. Ronin, though, very low on the HP. Grape, Soda, they want to be the first ones to eliminate a squad, and that they do. Barbecue the first to fall here.
Yeah, maybe 20 squads, or at least in this case now 19, but there's a lot of individual players having been taken out, right? So we've got a lot of duos, we've got a single rat as well here and there. So, you know, the field is still clearing out a little bit, even if it's not a team getting eliminated. There's just not as much presence being shown by the teams that are there, because they are, for the most part, duos. Final Dream need to push their way forward. They've got an angle, but the shots aren't really connecting here from Papa so far.
They bully Grape Soda, though, out. It's still a duo left on Grape Soda and Final Dream. They're considering, if we go out and get this 2 KP, can we make our way back into position? The ring, though, has pulled away from Guild and the rest now. And it looks to me, Hero is the one taking the camp with the caravans, with the fences, rather. They're going to be very happy with their position. Fruit Salad, on the other hand, over onto North. XT, the first to fall. This is huge for Fruit Salad, because they've been looking for an opportunity to just jump on a squad. DreamFire also taking a lot of pain, as 3MC is the only one still standing here. X and Y, they need to get back into cover, and the squads that we saw fight a while ago towards staging, they're the ones struggling to make their way into the ring. YC keeping up the pressure. Hemlock and Havoc shots, they do ring through. Can't confirm the kill. The drop down now from YC. They thirst as much as they can. Weibo Gaming gonna get eliminated. DreamFire gonna be gone too. And our 1 and 2 removed early on. This is big here for the rest of the lobby.
Indeed, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and in this case, X and Y have done the dirty work onto Weibo. They did lose one of their members for their troubles, and it's still popping off toward the northern side. Kind of got Heroes up here. You have LGD as well. NoCredit, who we just saw on our screens, are in the mix. A very busy side of the zone. A lot of teams having to push their way down out of Harvester as the zone starts to shrink. 15 teams alive. It was always going to be quite nasty with 20 alive in phase 3. Starting to kick off now.
With that being said, this has been quite a shift. Now it's towards the train tracks themselves. Heroes and the rest will need to move. We've seen Guild also make a few points. And you get at least one placement point so far as X and Y gets another respawn going. I believe with the Moby this time around.
Yes,
yeah, Heroes is there though. Very much so watching them.
Yeah, but this is exactly where XD died, roughly speaking. So he should be able to get re-looted pretty quick. Actually might not cost X and Y a whole lot of time. That's a very good revive. Very clean. Teams can probably take a leaf out of their book. We've seen some pretty unfortunate revives today, but that one's a good one. And they're back to full fighting fitness. Lovely to see.
Yeah, just another set to go with these push-ups. I do dare say though, I believe we have had 5 respawns minimum so far. We get confirmation on that perhaps from Prod, but JR with the devotion in hand, keeping things going, chugging along, and NoCredit is overrun by the train that is X and Y. Big deal here for X and Y. They can't pivot now to the next few rocks and get away from the Heroes position.
They do have to turn around though. LGD have just flown through the air, landed right behind them, so this starts to now get a bit awkward for X and Y. They're going to push their way a little further east to try to provide a bit of space, and oh, maybe they're going to go back in the other direction. The knocks onto Feiju and LQ, it's already starting to be a bit of a problem for LGD. They just didn't find their timing on that entry. X and Y, another chance to get some more points on the board as LGD taken down. Final Dream following them. And X and Y are just fighting their way through a massive gauntlet, but they are winning every single fight.
Absolutely fearless here from X and Y. They continue on and on with these kind of fights. And a fighting squad everyone has been watching out for. I do wonder though, let's listen into X and Y and see what the plan is now moving forward.
妈的，逼的！你还打脸吗？不要了，不要了。几秒？几秒收枪？给我看。是的吗？没有附中女神啊？怎么？
有谁飞伞没啊？有飞伞没？给我来飞伞。
我没飞，我没飞。
啊，就给我飞，就给我飞。我没拿，我马上有。要给我飞烟，你就要烟就是打生打。
不要脸！
我打哪边？
我想去脚下蹲，你能过来给个扫吗？我先给个扫。过这看脚下，看我不要脸。能贴到这儿，然后给前面个扫吗？
这边有人，都在这样，都在这样。下面有人，但是这个。
哎，他没收到啊！边上，来过来，过！来，没事，我来打。在这待。
我看到，快点！
我给火了，后面来不了，我给火了。在这，别乱跑，有雷。
后面来了！
你举盾吗？
我这儿，来我这儿。
来了。我想给他干了。
找机会拉我吗？可以。先打后面。去踩头。拿手，肉，还有一个跳了。后面来，清下面。慢点，可以拉的。
拉。我给你看。
小心屁股，看屁股。丢下。
来，丢，穿。
要清下面吗？
不用，死完了，往前走。
对面，清下面。
来。没事，位置很好，别着急，想踩头。我这儿，来我这儿，都来我这儿。
再走。
看这边有分，看一下左边。
这边还有。
好，看这，看这，靠这。再等会儿，别着急，等会儿。小哥别走。
快走点啊！
帮你看。
我再看。快了点，哪里？什么？看。
哇，好爽，兄弟，左边很爽，感觉可以。
别打，把你往标不能飘，不要标了。
我想上，我想上，
我上不去，1点半，1点半。
不上不去。
炸死那个，别点。
好了，
能来吗？
打2个，全是他。
来。
来个假的。
我这波很油，我跟你说。啥下来？
没来。脚下有一个，你这别急，你
我想清，我脚给扫，这样清。
脚上好像有一只独狼，有
跳着直接清，跳着直接清。
2只独狼，对吗？
跳。不，赶紧，我跳右边。
好，到。
来我这儿，兄弟们，求你们了，来我这儿行吗？真的来我这儿，
头连下了，有慢点。
来我这儿，我求你们了，我真求你们。我头领，我这边正头领，在这等他们爆。这最后一个毒了，3打1，听我说，3打1，别着急。
有大没老沙？
我没大，我应该交这个大了，有输吗？不用扫，这对面一个独狼，看一下，别偷。
完了。
没事，我给你架，我直架了。
我要输。
没有输。
打碎。
别着急。别着急。对面是个独狼，头领3打3，加油！
我在铺烟，我自己玩吗？
对，
有大的吗？
好
，3。
我还有一个。
等，没事，有雷吗？
看到了。
我没火的，小哥哥。
来了，刚扫，我这里完了，给我来个烟，什么？
我没扫。
我被炸了，给我远点。
没事，举盾，你去单玩，盾玩，现在盾玩。啊，被秒了。
Oh, you can hear the passion from X and Y, but the silence is deafening as they have been eliminated. SWQ though standing as a solo. And it's a struggle now for SWQ. MXF keeping things going here from up above. Yuling trying to win this fight here. Finds his target above the rocks. MXF, it's been just a rat adventure, but right now it's SWQ who will take it. Send it home, SWQ. You take the dub here in map 5.
Man, I don't know that Artorias was expecting to be fighting for a first place finish there, but luckily in the end, SWQ do get the clutch. A big win for them.
What a win and what a way. Place though, let's not pretend we understood anything there, but that was just absolute passion from X and Y and the rest.
I don't even know where to start. X and Y were quite literally fighting through the trenches. I think they took down NoCredit, then all the teams to sort of follow that. Then I guess they had, was it Grape Soda in their sights, took them down, and then it was Akuma, and then I thought that SWQ was going to go down and did get, 2 knocks on them. That was absolutely incredible from X and Y. Dax, I am speechless. That was insane. It was kind of like a pub match for them in some retrospect.
Yo, if you are speechless, X and Y was full of heart. You could tell, especially when they were fighting, right? There was just so much more screaming, more intensity to their actions. And with it, they're rewarded with 15 kill points. The rampage of X and Y. It's reminiscent to what Weibo has been doing so far. But X and Y have proven that they are up to the stuff there too. But if you look back at some of these highlights, for so long that Elfish actually noticed it. 20 squads alive after so many respawns throughout the lobby, but eventually, once we got towards the train tracks, it was teams like X and Y taking command.
Yeah, and I've got to commend them because, it wasn't like a 17-kill game like Weibo, but the fact that they got all those kills in such a short amount of time, it was just non-stop, and that is absolutely huge from them. Having just to take this position with a team trying to, I guess, flank in a sense, and then being able to take, another team there on bridge to have that position was just incredible. This team is definitely turning up today, Dax. I know that you're excited, and now X and Y are definitely on my sights as well.
It's a big game for X and Y, but we also have put big credits to SWQ too. They effectively tie up the points that X and Y was able to do there. I was saying a while ago, so many times you see XD getting away with the Bloodhound there, or rather YC getting away from the fight, but that time SWQ got the catch, got the push, and with it they took the win. Incredible effort from both SWQ and X and Y, also commendable. MXF just so silent, so quiet, still making it to that top 2.
Yeah, and as I guess we take a look at this, it was just an incredible feat from all of our teams. I guess we'll take a quick look there. Guild, you know, having a couple of struggling, I guess, games today, being able to get a little bit further within that match. You know, it was match number 5, so, you know, it's going to be, you know, still a very terrible time for them, maybe in our match number 6, to get themselves a little bit further up the leaderboard. But I'm still a little bit in shock, Dax. Let's go through, you know, SWQ putting out huge numbers as well.
Yeah, and you also have to take note of a few teams here within the top 7. Akuma was just a thorn on the side of Weibo for so very long, and they were rewarded 5 KP and 5th place to Heroez, doing a good job taking the fences early on. Guild Esports finally getting some points on the scoreboard that we're going to be showing here. And from what, 20th place, they're still unfortunately in 20th place. I expected at least a jump in a single spot there, Lace, but right up on top, this is the big one. Since Weibo and DreamFire were eliminated a lot earlier on there, X and Y is bridging the gap and have made it 3rd place here.
Yeah, closely, quickly catching, and you know, it can just take these sort of steamrolling games and you know, taking that energy into the next match. So we could see, I guess, a shift for X and Y to go even further up above DreamFire. But you know, there's probably no catching Weibo at this point. They are on an absolute roll as a team. It's so exciting to see their cohesion come back into play, because you know, when we watch them sort of, I guess, take a team fight, they are all in on the action. They are all swinging at the same time. And it's just been so awesome to see them sort of get that great play style back.
Yeah, and you know what has been great so far throughout the day here, Lace? It's still Weibo Gaming. Look at map 3 and map number 4. 29 points from the last bout in Storm Point. 21 there in the first bout of World's Edge. It's a big bulk of the scoreline that they have here, and we've always been talking how good is Weibo now. Seems like Gugu is just completely back in the driver's seat. They have been in command of most of the lobby, but within that last game, they were effectively gate-kept there by Akuma for so very long, and that was one of the times where, since they couldn't get the rotation early enough, they struggled from the get-go, playing as a duo from Geyser of all things after being forced off Big Mod and Stacks early on there.
Yeah, we were praying for a back-to-back-to-back, but you know what? That's, I guess, the end of that little trail there. But they still have, I guess, one more chance to be able to take out a win and maybe be one of our first teams to earn that bonus series points. You know, I was saying before, they have had a very, very tough start to the split, and they really need these extra points, you know, to be able to come and contend with the likes of, not the likes of Legends Gaming, let's say that they're so far out in front, but, you know, to go toe-to-toe, I guess, with the Makers, who are sitting in 2nd place at the moment. So this is definitely a big day for them, and I'm so excited to see match number 6, you know, come forth and see if they can be, you know, take that win again. But yeah, I am excited for match number 6. I'm excited for the X and Y. I don't know how much energy ammo that these teammates had, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 400 bullets in the chamber for so very long. I do feel, though, that what we're seeing right now, Weibo is so far ahead. I don't think they're going to get knocked out of the top 3 mathematically, within the top 5 for sure. It has just been a good day for Weibo, for DreamFire, and for X and Y.
Yes, and we're going to take ourselves a short little break, guys. But don't worry, the action will be back soon. We'll see you shortly.
Been a long time coming, and now they get that opportunity, because in their own little bubbles they probably think that they're the best. Now they can prove it.
Welcome everybody to the caster's desk for the very first time. It has been a long time coming. I'm Fallout, joined alongside Vicky Kitty.
Waltzy to try and clutch it out 1-on-2, and dare say that's going to be a difficult task with Azazel having purple armor. Fox obviously getting time now to just reset. In fact, not even going to charge on forward. Waltzy trying to just play around, and he's now been able to put it into the one-on-one. Maybe a big clutch for the team from APAC South. Waltzy still has the armor to play with. Pit's flesh. Was that on the down player? Was that on the player that he's fighting? I'm not too sure. Some cracks going through. Waltzy now has the advantage and clutches it out for SaWeiQi.
Run into it, do they try the Valkyrie? Do they use the crypto spam to run distraction in the meantime? And look how far they go, that dome is deep, and they've got plenty of opportunity, looking to find some more. The Spitfire coming out again!
Revan Esports don't care about your gold armor, sit down.
Dewa in a great spot though, they're going to down them again. Bastion with the Peacekeeper coming out here from the high ground.
Could they be the first team from APAC South here to find victory? This is the best opportunity for them to do so. Full armor, full HP, and a massive chance to convert, to find victory. They take out Onyx. It's only Yuki left, and he cannot stand in their way. APAC South, welcome to the ALGS playoffs.
They're gonna get shot in the back.
Yeah. They're ready.
Grenading now.
Try and put pressure on them. Yeah, good nade. Good nade. They're ready.
They're gonna EMP them.
EMP now. Don't go too deep here.
That's fine.
In the corner. Spin nade.
Burning.
Back dead.
Give me one. Dead.
Back in the air. Back dead.
Oh my
We're just so much better, dude. Let's go.
Can Burgers somehow do this in a 2v3v3?
They lose out on MT here from Team Burgers, having to play as a duo. GMT has a lot of their attention split up as Team Unite now, moving on GMT 6.
One more to try and get second.
Let's go, boy!
The best team in APAC South for a reason. They've been so dominant, and even with a sub JMW from the UK, they are here to play.
I'm messing it.
Stick it!
Popping. He's gonna go.
Now they're going to hang out behind the rock here. They got the mobile respawn beacon to play off. The gaming is engaging with Luminosity. Reignite to go in for the third party and take this entire victory.
LG is out. After gaming skill gauge goes out as well. Zero's going to do it. Wide left flank, and then just like that.
Put some respect in APAC South's name. Holy shit. The region that was made fun of the most. The region that was talked about saying they're the worst by far with the least experience. Taking home the land and taking home $250,000, Greek. We just witnessed history. History.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed some back-in-the-day Pro League content where the wingman still used heavy ammo there. Dax, you know what? That's so good to see, you know, how far Apex has come and all the, you know, roster mania changes and stuff. You know, Fussy on a team with Waltzy and, you know, it's been such a giant leap from then till now. But let's talk about the now where SaWeiQi took out the win in game number 5. But I can't stop talking about X and Y moving up 2 positions with a huge kill game from them, putting them into 3rd place.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible there from X and Y. And with that, it means they are going to make it to that top 3 spot. But you mentioned it, Lace. I don't want to take it away from SaWeiQi just because we got stuck in that X and Y listen in. And Yuling had a monstrous game there. 7 kills to his name, putting SaWeiQi within 6th place. That being said though, real quick, Lace, I asked for a few translations from the coach of X and Y.
Oh, wonderful.
What they were saying, because we don't speak Mandarin here. And, I mean, besides the usual ability and utility checks, there's a one call where they got the stick. They say, big damage it looks good, and they just run in to clear everything.
Is that the communication you need? Big damage looks good, let's go. If that's all I had to use, you know, in my Apex games, then that would be so tremendous. But you know what? They just were steamrolling. They were not stopping, and it was excellent to see. But yeah, we got to touch on, I guess, to SaWeiQi. You know, throughout the split, they have been absolutely incredible, Dax. They, especially on their Storm Point games, they've been taking so much space and really, really honing in on their skills and taking down squad after squad. We saw it in this game. They definitely bide their time. You know, there were a few knocks, but being able to take that 1v1 and the win must feel so good.
Yeah, it's just been absolutely impeccable. I think early, I'm looking down the order right now here also, Lace, where still struggles for Virtus.pro. What is going on with them and Guild Esports? What has really changed in how these teams are playing? It just seems like they're losing out these fights a lot more often than they should. Grape Soda also, we haven't seen the big performance from them in World's Edge. I know Lace is very excited. I heard you squeal in one of those skyhook circles just because that was the start, and then they got caught there by
yeah, I had to unmute and squeal, Dax, because you know what, like I just they have you know, such cohesion as a team, and I you know, I've just loved seeing, you know, these teams sort of rise up through the ranks, and when, you know, it just is such a good feeling for them to be able to, I guess, get to where they are at this point. And you know, being one of our orgs that or I guess our teams that don't have an org, you know, you just want to kind of cheer on the underdogs at this present time. So you know what, it's just awesome, you know, to have Loki back as well. So very excited for Grape Soda, but I hope they do well. But we are just having some fun technical difficulties here, but don't worry, no difficulties in Apex Legends. We're going to take ourselves a short little break, but don't go anywhere because we're going to see you shortly for match number 6.
So this is the studio. Couple of PCs. This is my PC that I use most of the day. It's a replay PC. It just plays replays. Yeah. So it just connects to these ones and plays replays. A switcher. I kind of just like plug all the PCs in there and just like push some buttons. I don't really know what this laptop is for. It just came with the stack, so I just keep it plugged in just in case. Yeah. So that's the long shots.
And I hope you enjoyed our backstage and exactly what our wonderful director has to go through sitting in what I think it's a 40+ degree room with all those PCs. This is exactly, how Longshot perform. And you guys get to see that, I guess, firsthand, Dax. But welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking that little break with us as we get things back into action. I hope you've got some snacks and quality H2O because I know we're very excited to see our final match for B versus C unfold. Dax, what an exceptional game number 5 we just witnessed.
Yeah, it was a long wait to get here, but we're going to be getting into our final game. If you guys just tune on in, though, big run from X and Y in SWQ with XWQ taking the dub there. It means X and Y top 3, SWQ making it to top 6 all the way from 18th place a while ago, and it's a big leap to get those series points. But I do just want to say, Lace, as we see the scoreboard here, it's incredible. We got a sneak peek of the PC and that one laptop keeping the stream alive. There you go, guys. The long shot experience, truly.
And don't forget the replay machine where it replays, Dax. So we cannot forget about that one because we love showing you exactly what unfolds and how our teams perform after each match. So thank you so much for taking us through that. We absolutely love seeing this stuff and how I guess the production runs, throughout the Longshot channel. We like to do things, I guess, a little bit differently here. We're always adding new stuff for you guys to enjoy at home, especially multi-view as well. So you get to actually watch each individual team yourself. And I believe we've got an auto director as well, which you can switch through different team members. So all the stuff is definitely here in action for you. We're going to be heading into game number 6 shortly, so don't go anywhere. But Dax, who do you think's going to win this next match? We've seen Weibo win 2 back-to-back games. Do you think they can get a third? Do you think X and Y coming out of that game are going to take the win this time?
I gotta agree with you for both of those cases, right? Weibo and X and Y have been the absolute forces of the lobbies here today, especially when X and Y has a big game like that. It's just a hurdle that they always need to leap over, Lace. Like, I always see X and Y, they have good comms, good plans, but then they get caught mid-rotation. Multiple times it happened in Storm Point, and right now, if they have the right path here in World's Edge, then X and Y can really take the fight to Weibo.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And let's take a look at exactly how our teams are performing today with a couple of damage stats. Now, I commented on IHTW before. They were sitting at about 7,000 damage, but now look at them, Dax. Absolutely incredible coming, from, not doing so well in the starter split DreamFire, but being able to put out these huge numbers.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that I Hate the World or No Name, he used to be teammates with Gugu right behind him with 6k damage. It's a big marker though for DreamFire. We always talk about how No Name would include himself within his DreamFire roster and bring more aggression, more tenacity, more ferocity towards DreamFire. And with 16 kills to his name, 20 knockdowns also, it has been an absolute buffer for DreamFire to work with. You compare it to Gugu, he has 18 kills, 20 knockdowns, but less damage. Either way, both these Bangalores have made wonders happen. On the other hand, XZZ there in third. Not too surprised that he's able to bring in that kind of damage. We've seen on the X and Y perspective, right? One knuckle cluster and just tick, 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 get those evos going for you instead.
Yeah, I want to touch on JR from X and Y, you know, coming out of that game, you know, emitting about 5,000 damage. I believe JR had the devotion just going absolutely ham, and, you know, that gun just can put out extreme damage for them. So, you know what, they're just doing exceptionally well, but it's always good to see, I guess, who amongst of the teams get to, you know, really, you know, I guess, lead the aggression for their squad. But let's have a look at our legend picks. You know, we've had a few changes recently where Watson is overtaking our Catalyst picks. They used to be, I guess, a little bit toe-to-toe, but now Watson is coming to the forefront. But then look at Fuse as well. Even more picks from last week.
Yeah, exactly. It's no longer really Catalyst looking to define the meta here. It's Fuse being picked up by both APAC-South as well as APAC-North. Interesting enough, though, we saw a few outliers here. Heroes, they did run the Pathfinder early on in Stormpoint. Didn't really work too well. True. Running the Lifeline too, and as per usual with Caustic and Valkyrie, remarkable team. Horizon here for Grape Soda. But I guess really the big one is Bloodhound. 100%, 100 picks, 100%. Bangalore right behind with 95, but it's always going to be that duo +1 for most of these teams here.
Yeah, and, you know, I do want to touch on, I guess, the Horizon pick, you know, Grape Soda being able to use Horizon quite to their advantage. You know, we saw an exceptional fight from them being able to take out Barbecue from the, you know, the top of Skyhook and just obliterate them. You know, sometimes they aren't expecting Horizons. You know, when you go into Pro League and there's, you know, a very strong meta, that being Bloodhound, Bangalore, Watson at this present time, having that sneaky Horizon Q back has been, I guess, working in Grape Soda's advantage. You know, they're not doing as well as I thought they might have over on World's Edge, but still coming into these matches, they're definitely creeping their way up the leaderboard, and hopefully even in coming into game number 6, they can do a little bit more. But again, you know, having to take out juggernauts like Weibo today is going to be a little bit difficult, so I am excited to see how they do. And I gotta mention, I guess, LGD Gaming, you know, we haven't spoken too much about them. They're currently in 4th DAX. They have been taking a lot of fights and solidifying those fights quite quickly, and it's been exceptional to see.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. This has been the best showing from LGD. You look at how their points have been distributed within the past few days. It's almost always placement points, making it to 2nd place with what? 0 to 2 kills at most just to get onto the leaderboard. No, it's different this time, especially during that first game in World's Edge. They had 22 points with 13 KP. It's a better day today for LD and the rest. And it's just been a day of resurgence, right? It's a day of redemption for many of our Chinese squads. And I, for one, welcome them, making this very much so competitive, especially for Group B.
Yeah, and now we are just waiting on our lobby. It is very close to starting, everybody, so we absolutely appreciate your patience here. But what's Apex without a couple of hiccups, Dax? You know, we have some technical issues. You saw the PCs, guys. You saw how many cables and whatnot there are. You saw that firsthand. So not everything's going to go right, guys, but don't worry. We will be getting into game number 6 very soon and being able to see, you know, who's going to win that last match. And obviously this is Groups B versus C, so we're going to be having another 6 matches after this, Dax. I know we're excited to see, I guess, some of our huge teams come back into play, but it's been really nice to see, you know, the likes of Legends Gaming and Makers out of the way for a moment so we can see these other teams perform.
Exactly, Lacey. Think about it. With Weibo, DreamFire performing like this, and then you're gonna make them face off against Legends and Makers later on, it looks to me that the level of play can be even more exciting coming into that 2nd set. And I, for one, would love to see how this will finish off. Who will take it? Will it be Weibo? Will it be DreamFire? Will it be X and Y? Or someone else? It's gonna get pretty close at the top.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And you know what? We're itching and rearing to go, guys. So let's get it started. Finally, game number 6, guys, for Groups B versus C. Let's go, Dax. Take it away.
Took us long enough, but we are dropping into the action. And Elfish, welcome back. That took a while.
Man, I just feel like I died and come back alive. Like this is the second coming of Elfish guy. I had my little nap. I had a hibernation. I pushed a rock away from a cave, something like that, and now I'm back alive and ready to cast some Apex Legends. I have to say, guys, I do have to apologize. It wasn't our fault, just saying. It was nothing to do with the broadcast. Just want to put it out there for everyone watching along at home. Many apologies, of course, but we are at the mercy of the game, and so have to just wait for it to be ready to go. So luckily, we are in for game number 6 of the day. And it is the final game of this B&C lobby. I don't know if this like affects any of the momentum of any of these teams or anything like that, you know, because that was a pretty long break.
Yeah, no one expects it. Even the players didn't expect it, so it's a little unfortunate, but in any case, we're going to get into our final bout. Man, Elfish, I'm sorry, you closed your eyes, you started dreaming about SaWeiQi again, and one of the best listen-ins in the history of history. Now we're back to casting what is the president of APAC-South. And just a quick little rundown of the Legend compositions. Pretty much same old for every single one of these teams. There's the Lifeline team there for True. I think really notable here, Virtus.pro. They've been trying to figure out what can work here on World's Edge. They started with Catalyst in the first game, they went for Fuse in the second game, and now they're back on the Cat.
All right, let's lock in and get ready to go. VK Gaming, you know, they had one big game, right? Like 36 points, and 23 of those, I think, came from game 1. So if they could replicate that again for the final game, then perhaps jump their way up into a second for this lobby. I don't know that they'll be able to overtake Weibo at this point, but aside from that, look, everyone's going to take a little bit more of a relaxed approach maybe to start off game 6.
I mean, with the Rain console information, you can see VK Gaming and the rest expecting something around the area of Landslide. DreamFire also, within that same vein, you've seen them take good positions so far, but look at MXF. No matter the situation, they've wormed themselves into a good placement spot there, Elfish, and especially in that last game, top 2 with the single wrap.
Alright. Couple of shots in the direction of Fruit Salad. Nothing really doing, though, as far as that exchange is concerned in Skyhook. And I don't imagine either of those teams are going to be super excited to really get into a particularly long exchange. That's more just a jostle for position and a jostle for information, other than anything else.
There's a lot of pressure. Fruit Salad might be in trouble here, but you're just hiding right now. There's NoCredit. Use that evac tower. Get them top of the roof. They go for the scan. And Bayuller is just completely exposed. This is just a solo right now, Fruit Salad. The rest are towards trials elsewhere. And NoCredit hunting this one member of Fruit Salad. Bayuller falls. Savior takes it. And NoCredit picking up KP here.
Alternator Pylon does go down. Lowen said he wins the race as far as NoCredit are concerned. They don't want to over-aggress into this one, even though they have got that opening pick. The high ground advantage for Fruit Salad is still something to speak to, and we'll go back over to Grape Salad. Grape Salad? Grape Soda. I mean,
Grape Salad?
Grape Salad sounds alright.
Yeah, would you eat one? Maybe. We'll see. Real quick though, True under duress. Grape Soda in a position where Moist actually won before in previous seasons, and True gonna get eliminated there. First one to fall, first one sent packing.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, early knock, maybe not the worst of things. They're going into the break, have some dinner. I am kind of hungry. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about Grape Salad and NoCredit. They don't want to be hanging around here too long. There's actually a rotation coming in from Akuma on the northern side of Skyhook that they'll need to be a little bit aware of.
Yeah. For console 2, I do want to ask you, what constitutes a grape salad? Is it the different types of grapes all together, or grapes with veggies? What's the call there? What's the call there, chef?
I actually think it's just a fruit salad that's predominantly made up of grapes, right? Because I feel like you could put grapes in with like apple maybe, and that'd be pretty good, you know. But you'd have more grapes than apple, obviously, if it's a grape salad. But I like the shout of multiple different kinds of grapes. If we're really gonna go into it, you know, you got your green grapes or your white grapes or your red grapes. Let's put them all in.
Yo, it sounds like you have like a winery or something, the way you're talking about your grapes, man. Fine. What's the best fruits to put in a fruit salad?
The best kind of fruits to put in a fruit salad?
Yes.
I think you definitely have apple, you definitely have orange. I'm a big fan of mango. Strawberry's a good shout from the frog team. I don't know if all these go together, if that makes sense. Like, you can't have all of them. Like, I don't think... Do you put orange and mango in the same fruit salad? Maybe not, but like... Yeah. They're all good fruits.
Just put in cream. Just put in cream, put in the ref, and call it a day. So, there you go, guys. We got some fruit salad recipes for you, courtesy of APAC-South. But now back into Apex Legends, and NoCredit are hunting down the remaining members of Fruit Salad. They really just want to put them in the fridge by this point. Very cheeky indeed, still with the hunt, drops down. But Fruit Salad, notice what they're doing here. They're sending Acquaintance as bait. You have Scholar lying in wait elsewhere, but NoCredit have realized the situation, and Fruit Salad are now separated on 2 fronts here.
Yeah, they've really had to split though, Acquaintance and Scholar, so it's going to make life really quite difficult. Acquaintance back in towards Skyhook, and Scholar, well, he's out on the far western side of the map above Lava Fisher. It's going to take them a little while to regroup and see if they can maybe get that beacon, find the respawn. Definitely possible, though their side of the zone is quite busy up to the north here. Like, Countdown is pretty well occupied. They've even still got Akuma behind them in Skyhook, so I dare say finding that respawn is actually going to be a little more difficult than they would like it to be.
Where do they go from here? X and Y holding Fisher, running into NoCredit, who has been just trying to chase after Fruit Salad. While this happens, there's a little bit of subterfuge from Fruit Salad, sneaky-like through trials. Also elsewhere, you mentioned that the respawn's available, they have the beacon, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Scholar go all the way towards the north of Skyhook just to get the res going. Here though, X and Y, they pop the mother load, they beat NoCredit back, and for once they're gonna have to hold off NoCredit on the opposite side of where they landed.
Ooh. Oh, very cheeky indeed. You need to be careful there, my man. It is not looking very good at all. The push forward from X and Y. They know they got such good damage down and they punished for it. Quick reset though. White following up for the finishing blow.
Relative surprise. Very cheeky to push that deep anyway, but Y still keeping the pressure on. Weibo's gone! Weibo's gone from this barbecue too. Same can be said. First place isn't up for grabs for DreamFire and X and Y. We'll see later on into the game. X and Y, they've noticed that on the kill feed. They're gonna hunt for KP along the way. Nemesis shots trying to ring XD, looking for that target. And X and Y now, there is more proactivity from them. The hustle is here from X and Y. They see the target trying to go into the house. Doesn't get the knock though. They're breaking shields, they're bringing the damage. JR invading the home of Lux there. And X and Y find and kill NoCredit.
Yeah, X and Y, no chill. I mean, they might even still be thinking about taking that first place away from Weibo. The target is 72 points, I believe, and X and Y up to 52, so they'd need another 20 on top of that. That's definitely achievable in a game. It would have to be a big game, no doubt about it, but it is definitely something that can be pulled together. And you also mentioned DreamFire. Well, they're actually not in a bad spot either to potentially have a bit of a crack at that one, so Weibo, have they missed a bit of a trick by getting knocked out pretty early in games 5 and 6? We'll wait and see if they do get punished for it. Still quite a chase for the teams in 2nd and 3rd.
Yep, it's a big gap, but you mentioned it, especially DreamFire. These kind of rings have brought victory to DreamFire in multiple occasions, in multiple splits. They have been the masters of Countdown since the time of Elfish Guy, way back when. But, and again, MXF, they are like the setup towards the north. You already see EVOS Predator with the tower. Akuma just hiding, lying in wait right under them. But DreamFire, all eyes will be on this squad to perform and look to take it away from Weibo.
Yeah, Virtus.pro. It's been a very rough day for them, and it looks like it's about to get rougher. Wei's just been dominated. Oh man, and X and Y still continuing to put that hurt onto Fruit Salad, who are also having a pretty rough game. They did get the revive. Didn't last very long. Scholar being chased down as well. He says probably Curtains for Fruit Salad, and it seems like it might be Curtains Virtus.pro fairly shortly as well. Naki and Pricey have to get the job done as a duo.
Yeah, Virtus.pro just honestly underperforming to what many others expected here. X and Y just looking to hunt down that final member of Fruit Salad. With the ring closing on in, it's interesting to see how X and Y is gonna tackle this next zone. Do they push into the Remarkable team, try and take Countdown away, take a command center there, or do they go towards Guild? Heroes though on the other front, spotting out EVOS Predator. A little bit of danger here for Bastion. Smoke for cover. Look to regroup with the rest of his team.
Oh, take a look at the next ring pull. SWQ right in the center of it. And VP, I mean, low-key, maybe in with a chance here. We'll have to kind of keep our eyes on that. I don't know that they're going to be able to get a respawn, a landslide. That would be ambitious, but might as well give it a crack.
At respawn beacon, I do feel that that's going to be pivotal for a team later on, once the ring is even smaller. Like last 5 squads, one of those squads are gonna look to just suddenly bring a dropship out of nowhere. We said a while ago, landslide is our expectation for the ring, and SaWeiQi has called it right. Final Dream though, MXF on the outskirts, DreamFire, remarkable team. Those teams, they also need to move in now because of the zone pull here.
Piece of the hunt, 15 seconds left to go. Getting info off of it. That nade, thermite, going to be ticking away onto Flash as well. MXF aware of that, but not using that opportunity to push their way forward just yet. Again, AIO continuing to put that chip damage down. And they do want to take the fight by the looks of things. They're just waiting, biding their time nicely. And yeah, EVOS Predator do get eliminated. It was cautious, but that's fine. Get the job done, easy as you like.
Yeah, very much so sandwiched between two teams. Final Dream though on the other hand, a push now towards LGD. Guild on the opposite end, and Final Dream also looking to make a mark into the lobby. It's been a little bit more quiet compared to the past few times we've seen Final Dream with Papa going for the clutch, but X and Y is unrelenting, and they're marching on to get more kills here. Who's next on the list? They go for the scan, with Final Dream and Guild just nearby staying away.
Oh, 56 points. They must be getting pretty close to DreamFire right now. DreamFire came in at 55. We'll have a look at scoreboard there. 57, yeah. So they've been able to grab themselves a couple more. They're still alive, of course, with 3 strong fruit salad finally eliminated. Unfortunate. An unfortunate end perhaps for Guild Esports as well, who are still at the bottom of the scoreboard. Only the 11 points today. They had a bit of a better game in the previous, but haven't gone far enough to salvage their day at all. And honestly, I think that discussion really comes from the next lobby more than anything. Bugi at least gets the knock onto YC of X and Y, who finally bitten off a little more than they could chew. Yesko, another one. The X and Y just get eliminated straight up by Guild Esports, who we can have a listen in with and see how they're going.
I'm playing outside the truck.
Yep, crack fuse.
Just getting that way.
For another 13%. Crack fuse on the crafter.
Bang walking up here.
Yeah, we just need to hold the zone on us. I loot it all. Where's what?
Yeah, there's boxes in front of me, but you have to stand.
They're peeking at us.
Scanned? I don't have scan back.
Yeah, no ult.
I'm playing on the back side of the caravan, okay?
I'm stopping my gun. I'm selling a bit.
Scanning 2, I fucking jumped into a thermite.
Oh, I'm at back rat.
I'm not. From Lord's Legacy.
Yeah, I'm running out.
Not safe anyway.
Fuck, I'm tanking this.
I got
stunned. Watch for me. I died. I can't.
It's fine, it's fine. We can
win
this.
Hold the right side, they swing up.
In our back, in our back.
Hold.
The team formerly known as Serenity playing spoil sport to X and Y. Right now, the struggles continue as Legacy is the only one still standing. Final Dream ready to jump on them. They're in 19th place for now. It's only going to be 1 split point if ever. And the struggles of Guild, it is quite surprising to say the least. Remarkable team also watching from afar, but Elfish would expect that Guild would struggle like this today.
Certainly not me. I had them picked as one to watch, and I mean, they have been one to watch, I guess that's fair to say, but for all the wrong reasons. Look, out in 10th for this one. To be fair, they can still salvage their day with a good lobby for our next 6 games. They are playing twice, but it's going to be hard to come back from that. And well, that for now, because we've got more pressing things to touch on. It's a remarkable team that are suffering on the hands of multiple teams. Longby trying to hide away in this caravan. Zone's going to be pushing its way in as well. I'm not sure he's getting the res, and neither is he. So, on his bike.
Just did get the wipe onto Final Dream, and through the caravan window. A little bit of survival for the Valkyrie. CK, well, alive and kicking for the rest of the game, but now the onus is on DreamFire. They're the only ones who can take the win away from Weibo now. Heroez, though, on the other hand, with also their rally, they've overrun MXF. They're taking the north side to them, and this is a very much so quiet approach from DreamFire. They don't want to challenge Heroez. The problem is, Heroez might have seen them. SaWeiQi also marking some of these targets. They still have the caravan well set up for the rest of the game here.
Yeah, Kraber. Can it do some damage? Waiting safely for the shot there. Donut, nice connection. 140. And SaWeiQi will want to play this one pretty slow. They Definitely don't want to be crashed on by a couple of teams. There's another connection.
It's a down.
Ooh, yeah,
Donut has just been impeccable with the Kraber throughout, whether he be a solo or within the trio. Give him the gun, he can shoot one down. So Heroes, they're gonna struggle now on the rotation just because of that knock. Donut still keeping the pressure on here, Elfish and DreamFire. They don't want a piece of that Kraber now.
Still 6 shots. More than enough. We head later and later into the game. 17 players still alive. That might not be lasting too much longer. Bastion has been re-knocked. We've been picked back up. But Heroes are very much worse for wear at the moment. This has been a pretty tough rotation for them to make. And they're also getting collapsed upon from behind. DreamFire working their way in through the northern side. And that should be about it. DreamFire get that angle. There's nowhere to go for Heroes.
3MZ with the pressure on. Like we said, just a single shot from the Kraber ruining the game of Heroes. They are left now to 7th place. We're down to 6. DreamFire, they're effectively away from all the action. They can now rotate where Heroes was going to begin with. VK is way too busy with Virtus.pro and KPG here. And DF given a chance to close that gap and get in position here by Landslide.
Yeah, VKG sitting pretty right at the top of the high ground, but how long is that going to last? Team's going to be looking in their direction for sure. Still keeping an eye on that Kraber, and it is putting in some work. EasyCom goes down for SaWeiQi. I wonder if there is a last-minute attempt here from DreamFire to overtake Weibo again. 72 points is kind of what we're looking for at this point in time. I guess 73 is what you'd need to guarantee.
Big!
And a big lot of damage coming through, and it's going to be, I hate the world, straight on top of that to follow up. Kraber from the high ground. Here's a big chance, huge shot, remarkable team out. Keep going, eliminated as well. And this is surely DreamFire making a solid run in for first place at the end of this lobby.
What a highlight reel there from DreamFire in a swift motion. A single nade to open up the top side. A Kraber from above smiting the opposition. We're left to 3. We'll keep it an air of mystery. The last time we checked, guys, DreamFire was at 60 points. They need a bit more KP here to close the gap versus Weibo. And a Kraber versus Kraber battle now. Virtus.pro eliminated here. It's PT who's able to pick up that KP. SaWeiQi versus DreamFire. This is going to be a big matchup, especially between Donut and No Name moving in here.
Well, one Kraber shot available for SaWeiQi against the 5 of DreamFire. Play the long game, and you'd say it should favor DreamFire. They're going to have a few more bites at the cherry to get that big chunk of damage down. Zone doesn't necessarily favor either of these teams too hard, but with the high ground advantage for DreamFire, you'd say they're probably in the better of the positions.
Bangalore up to Rolling Thunder right now, away from the pylon as much as they can. Interception though, a few of those missiles, SaWeiQi playing towards the wall, but DreamFire, elevation armor, that's what they got, but Tinty does get knocked down by Crazy Kong. Numbers in favor of SaWeiQi here, and you realize there are still some sentinels, still a few snipers to work with. Distance will be the friend of SaWeiQi as they're creeping closer to the center of the ring, but I hate the world will destroy Yuling there. No Name gets the knock going. We're now to a 2v2, and the res that you mentioned, it's cover here for DreamFire.
Well, SaWeiQi have used the last shot of their Kraber, whereas DreamFire still have a couple to play with. It might not matter anymore. The real fight's going to kick on. M's got one. Pete got another. We're down to the 2-on-1. SaWeiQi had their opportunity. They had that 2-on-3. They didn't push the issue. And DreamFire will walk away with match 6. It was only a matter of time, really, before they got that dub. They had a second and a third in there. Finally, a dub on the board for DreamFire, and the question is that going to be enough to overtake Weibo?
And that was finally the last game for B versus C. Long awaited, but definitely entertaining. DreamFire, you know, it's the crispiest Kraber shot from I Hate the World there. Just such a graceful rotate. They were sort of clearing zone as they made their way through. They got to secure that height, I guess, over SaWeiQi, and then to have a nice little Kraber v Kraber moment. Is it enough to take over Weibo?
Trying to do the math here. They got 9 KP, 12 placement, 21 points. Is it enough to just overrun the Weibo score? But you gotta give big props to DreamFire today. This was such an incredible day for them. No Name also showing his pedigree so far. I do dare say here, guys, that this is what we've always wanted from DreamFire. I'll give props to Elfish. His return, perhaps bringing the old DreamFire back to in terms of performance, right? And it's just a lot more surety on the calls. We've always talked about in the past few weeks how DreamFire have hesitated so many times on what to do, but here it was clear what the plan was, what they wanted to do in every single situation, and they come up ahead because of it.
Yeah, I think it might be enough. I definitely think it'll be enough. But for DreamFire, their job is not done for today either. They've got to continue to push their way forward, and they've got a whole nother lobby to play. So if they can bring that kind of intensity again and kind of consistency, great shots as well with this Kraber. So many connections. I did think for a moment when Pete went down that this was going to be SWQ to walk away with the win, but the trade frag comes through, so to speak, and open the door up enough for DreamFire to recover. And there you go. In the end, DreamFire, they do, in my opinion, just enough to get it over the line. We'll have to wait and see, but either way, you know, second or first for the lobby, it gets them right back where they need to be going into the latter weeks of this split.
Yeah, and as we just had such an exceptional game, let's take a look at our scoreboard and what we just witnessed there. And it was enough for DreamFire to take over Weibo, who had 2 back-to-back wins and some exceptional games. But DreamFire Dax are just coming back. What a great set of matches from them.
Yeah, return to form is understated. 21 points from that last game. And also some incredible shots that Elfish has mentioned. I do dare say, though, pivotal to have 3MZ play a good anchor there for DreamFire. He stayed up top, was able to track where the likes of SWQ is going. Quick little nades too. And it's been so pivotal here for DreamFire to take some really good angles to give themselves the advantage. Weibo, unfortunately for them, after the massive games in the middle of the set, they did taper off there in World's Edge. X and Y also with a rally, couldn't make it happen, but a great showing from these 3 Chinese teams, really showing that this group is theirs to try and take.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about X and Y getting knocked out about 10th place there, but it seems like they had enough kill points. You know, VK Gaming and LGD could have slightly overtaken them, but that's fine. They sort of stuck in their boots and they did manage to get, you know, stay in that 3rd place, which has been awesome from them, having such, you know, an incredible game in number 5. So you know what, it's that whole game literally made them secure that spot. So let's go have a look at our overall series board and see where everybody is sitting together here. You know, Legends Gaming Makers were not playing today, but have a look at that. X and Y in 3rd place.
Not too surprising, X and Y, they were missing a set, and they get a good performance going. Multiple times we've seen from X and Y within the top 5 at the end of every single set, and they're rewarded with having a more secure spot to try and make it to land. Only 2 away from Makers, but Elfish, look at this one. Guild Esports, they're slipping down the ladder after a really rough day within that group.
Yep, 3rd to 5th. I was kind of hoping that at this point in time, they might be around that 70-point mark with Makers, and you know, we'd be having a bit of a discussion. Okay, who's going to take that 2nd spot? Obviously, a bit of a jostle for position there, but they kind of dropped the ball there in the first lobby of the day. So a lot of catching up still to do in that respect. Obviously, the other big names to kind of touch on there were DreamFire and Weibo. They've both gone up pretty substantially off of the back of that, and again, they both have another lobby to play today. So we're looking forward to seeing maybe, you know, whether or not Weibo could potentially jump into the top 10. DreamFire certainly not far away from that either, but for Weibo, it will require quite a bit more work.
Yeah, and, you know, from their games today, going from, you know, all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top there, they'd had exceptional games. But that concludes our groups B versus C for today. But don't go anywhere or don't stress, because we have another 6 matches. We are going to be seeing them shortly after a break. So go and get yourself some snacks, relax, maybe a quick nap. I know I might have a nap, and we will see you very shortly.
This is the Split 1 playoffs, and this is Los Angeles. We have the 40 best teams from around the world, 120 of the greatest players to ever play the game, all fighting for their chance to win a LAN and to hold up that ALGS trophy. Every single one of these players have given everything they have for months to be up on the stage. Because this is ALGS.
A violent sky for Reps. PK grabs the second, makes it a 2-pop, glitches it. But there's no way he hits that Sensi shot.
Nasky moves in there. He has to reload. It's fine though. He beats him both. He's just better. There's Yuka. Can he hit the Braver shot? Micah, can he clutch it up right behind him? The melee.
Hacken swings through the smoke. Beast of the Hunt is activated. He is farming.
Track back. Kicking. Go to one. Follow that.